Hello. Sorry, I was supposed to be back earlier, but I'm having issues and I can already tell. Is it lagging? Let me know. Let me know. Hello. Welcome back. We are back with more true crime, and today we're going to be talking about the Susan Lorincz case. Okay, I need to check, make sure my mic was on. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Welcome back. We're just going to have a chill little night. And then after this, we might hop on over to the second channel. So, hello, welcome. Thank you for being here. This is my true crime channel. I am Melly. I do have a second channel where we're going to start streaming just hangout vibes. And shout out to all of you for being here in the chat, all my friends, all the babelets, all the replay viewers, all the new subscribers, all the new members, all the haters. Shout out to all of you. Please hit the like button, or don't hit the like button. Hit the thumbs down if you really feel that way. It is what it is. So we're going to be talking about the Susan Lorincz case today. And I believe her name is Ajike Owens. I hope I'm not saying that wrong. No disrespect, but she is called by AJ as well. So let me just check in with you guys here. This case is recently became a Netflix documentary. And so there's been recent jail calls released that I do want to play. I don't know that we will get to those today, but it's okay. I don't want to be disrespectful to any channels, so we can always go through those tomorrow because you know the vibes. So just engage. Yes, listen to 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗗. Just engage. Hit the like button, subscribe, hype, drop a comment. Please support. The Patreon should be ready this week, posting basically everything I have on this channel, documents, videos, body cams, calls, all of that will be there. So let me say hello to everyone. I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you very much. I saw Debbie, I saw hello, I saw Tippy, I saw 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗗, Nama, Gypsy Girl, hello, hello. I saw Evie pop in, Debbie, did I say Debbie already? Jamie, Widow. Have you guys watched this documentary, by the way? Nama, hello, hello. Vanjie, hello. Love you. Thanks, Widow. Can you guys let me know? Have you guys seen this documentary? I need to know because I'm going to give you just a little bit respectfully. Okay, thank you, Bonte. Thank you for being here. I'm going to give you guys a little summary about what this is about. And then if you haven't watched the Netflix documentary, I recommend you do before we get into the jail calls tomorrow. Tomorrow we do have numerous true crime lives to stream. We will be updating on 𝗫𝗏𝗏𝗧. We will be doing the calls on this, and then I have a few more other things, perhaps 𝗫𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗕𝗏, so please make sure you turn on your notifications. I'm going to give you a little bit of a background while you let me know if you have seen this on Netflix. I cannot play too much. A lot of it, Netflix will copyright, even though it doesn't belong to them, and then we'll have to fight it. So we're going to get through the 911 call. We're going to get through an older interview that's just like 15 minutes. I want to watch the interrogation, and we're going to read the letter that she wrote on August 8th, and I'll let you know what that letter is regarding. So in June of 2023, Susan Lorincz, a Florida resident, shot and killed her neighbor, Ajike AJ Owens, through the locked front door of her home in Ocala, Florida. The confrontation stemmed from a long-running dispute involving Owens' children and Suzanne's complaints about them playing near her property. Suzanne fired one shot at Owens, who was unarmed, as Owens knocked on the closed door. Owens later died from that wound. So the reason why this case is very controversial is because a lot of people are basing it on racism, pure and simple racism, that Suzanne is a racist lady and she did not like the kids playing in her yard. It had been an ongoing situation for a while. So they had been having problems with her, and it wasn't just AJ Owens and her family that was having issues with her. The neighbors also have spoken out about how she was a problematic lady. And so just imagine that this happens to your mother. AJ is a mother of 4 little kids. And if you've watched the documentary, it's heartbreaking when you see the reaction. I think I pretty much like cried throughout that whole documentary, and I'm not really like a crier, so that should shock you a little bit. And you know, they've had to live without their mother, and now fast forward, this lady who was found guilty of killing their mother is now trying to sue them, sue her estate, sue the kids for defamation. And it's just so petty, and I'm disgusted, and I think Suzanne is right where she needs to be. But regardless of that, I'll continue to let you know what about the case. Suzanne was arrested a few days after the shooting, and she was charged with manslaughter with a firearm along with other counts. Her defense argued that she acted in self-defense under Florida's quote unquote stand your ground law. She basically is saying that she feared for her life because AJ came over there to unalive her, but that wasn't really the case. Suzanne had been harassing the kids all day while they were playing outside. Literally, little kids playing outside. I mean, that's even rare. It feels weird even saying it, but like she had a problem with the kids being loud and having fun out there and doing kid stuff. And AJ went over there to like talk to her about why she was being mean to the kids, et cetera, and she was shot. And prosecutors said that she was not in imminent danger because the door was locked and law enforcement was already en route. In August of 2024, a six-person jury found her guilty of manslaughter. She was sentenced to 25 years in prison, and the judge basically said that the shooting was unnecessary. So she's currently serving her sentence at a Florida correctional facility with an expected release of 2048. She has continued to express regret, but she maintains that she feared for her life. And Owens' family basically pursued a wrongful death suit against Suzanne, and now Suzanne is fighting back and saying that she wants to countersue them for defamation. So it's a lot of drama. I'm going to read the formal statement from 2023, and then we'll listen to the 911 call, and then I have the letter in her writing. If you're familiar with Sarah freaking Looney Boone, you know how she writes all those letters, like telling her whole lifestyle, acting like life story, acting like she's Alan Jackson. Like she writes all these letters. That's exactly what the letter looks like. She wrote it in her handwriting, and it's just 3 pages. So we'll get through that and see. Gypsy girl, thank you, my love. The children broke my heart. I was traumatized watching this. What I didn't know about the suing. Yes, it's messed up. It's messed up. And thank you, Gypsy girl, for being such a great supporter of the channel. I love and appreciate you, Bablet. Yes, she is trying to sue the children and their family. I'm just appalled. Let me, let's read this. This is a statement. Hold on, let me fix my screen. Don't hate, appreciate. Okay, can you guys even see this? You're like, no. Okay, there. This is the original, what do you call it? Press release or whatnot. From June 26, 2023. So I just wanted to read through this really quick. It says, State Attorney 𝗕𝗏𝗔𝗗𝗏 announces the filing of criminal charges against Susan Lorincz for the death of Ajike I feel so bad. I think it's Ajike. Let's just call her AJ because that's how people know her. And I mean, no disrespect at all. For the death of AJ, and makes the following statement. Lorincz has been charged with 1 count of manslaughter with a firearm and 1 count of assault. She faces up to 30 years in prison for the charges. She is accused of shooting AJ Owens through a door on June 2nd, 2023. The Marion County Sheriff's Office investigated the case and arrested the defendant, leading to a filing of these criminal charges. In making the filing decision on this case, my office carefully examined the viability of both second-degree murder and manslaughter with a firearm, both first-degree felonies, in order to prove the crime of a second-degree murder. The state must prove beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt the existence of a depraved mind toward the victim at the time of the killing. Depraved mind requires evidence of hatred, spite, ill will, or evil intent toward the victim at the time of the unaliving. As deplorable as the defendant's actions were in this case, there is insufficient evidence to prove this specific and required element of second-degree murder. As is always true in criminal cases, failure to provide a reasonable doubt, even one element of a crime, will result in a not guilty verdict. Given the facts in this case, aiming a firearm at the door and pulling the trigger is legally insufficient to prove depraved mind. Case law has consistently held that extreme recklessness or impulsive overreactions are in and of themselves in and of themselves insufficient to prove second-degree murder. 1 count of misdemeanor assault, 1 count of misdemeanor culpable negligence, and 1 count of misdemeanor battery were not filed. Wow. Sworn testimony provided by the victim's son after the arrest indicated that the skate thrown by the defendant did not strike the child, a necessary element of the charge of battery. Sworn testimony was also provided by another child as it relates to one of the accounts of assault that was not in fear, which is a required element of assault. Accordingly, the legal requirements to establish the crimes of battery and assault cannot be met, and those charges cannot be filed. The crime of the misdemeanor culpable negligence was not filed because there's no evidence to establish that the defendant knew the child was with his mother when she shot the victim in this case. I am aware of the desire of the family and some community members that the defendant be charged with second-degree murder. My obligation as state attorney is to follow the law in which the case that I prosecute. I did so in this case, and while some may not agree with that decision, I can assure you that the decision was thoughtful and made without consideration of any factors other than the specific facts of this terrible crime. Simply stated, my obligation is to follow the law. Understandably, emotions run high, particularly with senseless violent crimes. However, I cannot allow any decisions to be influenced by public sentiment, angry phone calls, or further threats of violence as I have received in this case. To allow that to happen would also be improper and a violation of my oath as a prosecutor and as a lawyer. Since the night of the defendant's arrest in this case, I have indicated that I would be transparent in my decision-making process. Prior to making the decision, my office consulted with the victim's family and their attorney. The defendant will be prosecuted for the offense of manslaughter with a firearm, a first-degree felony punishable up to 30 years. My office will do all it can to seek justice for Ms. Owens and her family. I just thought that statement was really important to the case and very well done by this prosecutor. So we're going to listen to the 911 call, and we're also going to watch a little segment by Law and Crime that they did about a month ago. Like I said, I can't play the Netflix documentary or too many clips from it because we will be in trouble. We will be in trouble. But I do want to play the 911 call. So let me pull that up. It's just, I think, a couple minutes. And trigger warning, it's a terrible, terrible case. Suzanne is evil.
911 said I just put the emergency. Oh my God, this lady just tried to break down my door. I shot through the door. Oh my God. Okay, repeat that address for me to make sure I have it correct. Okay, what is your name? Okay, take a deep breath for me. Calm down. Oh my God. You said someone tried to break down your door, is that correct? Yes, the woman was screaming and yelling and she was trying to break down my door. Okay, it was a female? Yes. I didn't know what to do. I grabbed my gun and I shot at the door. And I thought she was going to kill me. Oh my God. Okay, you said you shot at the door, is that correct? Yes, I shot at the door because she wouldn't stop. I told her to get away and she wouldn't. She just begging. Okay, where's your gun now? It's in my bedroom. I didn't know what to do. I was panicking. This is the woman who attacked me. Okay, do you still see the subject? I don't know where she is. I'm still in my house. I didn't open my door to her.
I'm rolling my eyes because if you've seen this documentary, you know that AJ was not going over there to be violent. This lady, I forget the number of times, but I think it was more than like 8 or 9 times the police had been called over the kids being loud and issues with Suzanne.
Is it just only you in the home? Yes, it's just me. Okay, I just need you to lock all your doors and windows, okay? I have. Okay, I'm going to stay on the line until the deputies get there. Okay. My son's they were going to come and kill me. And did you know her? Yes. She's come after me several times because of her children. Her children keep trespassing over here. They're bothering me and bothering me. They won't stop. Is she a neighbor? Yes.
So she's like, they won't effing stop. She was so upset that the kids kept going in the backyard and like being loud. But she's really nasty about it once you see the documentary. That's where she screwed up, says First Liberties. If you can't see who you're shooting, then you can't claim self-defense. Good point. And thank you, Mary Beth, for gifting a membership. I appreciate you. It really helps the channel, and welcome a ray of sunshine to the members only content. And she was fine. Her voice changed. She had already shot her. So I think she was just, I guess, building an alibi. I don't know. It's messed up. Let's watch this law and crime clip. You guys will get a little bit more of an idea. And then the body cam as well is in here. And then we're going to start with her interrogation. Actually, we'll go through a quick interview that she did from jail, and then prison interview. And then we'll get into the interrogation. And if we don't finish the interrogation today, we'll finish it tomorrow with the jail calls. Like I said, I want to be respectful to the channel that has the calls. So I don't want to necessarily stream them on the day that they launched them. So I think it's just a YouTube thing. So let me play this from Law and Crime. I'm really glad they did a segment on this.
The crux of this case, ladies and gentlemen, is whether at the time she fired her gun at that closed, locked, deadbolted door, did she reasonably believe that her conduct was necessary to prevent imminent death or great bodily harm against her?
It is virtually impossible to convey all of the ways Susan has devastated our lives.
The documentary film, The Perfect Neighbor, is essentially the #1 program in the U.S. on Netflix right now. And the Sundance Film Festival winner chronicles the case against Susan Lorincz, the woman who shot and killed her neighbor. And through body camera footage and interrogation tapes, we are seeing this picture. But what the film didn't take a deep dive into was the court case. So Law and Crime, we covered this trial gavel to gavel. We are going to take you through powerful attorney statements.
And we are going to be covering the trial too. So I wanted to let you guys know this will be just like a fun evening later stream kind of thing on the channel. So definitely make sure you are subscribed because I'll be pushing out a lot of content the rest of the week.
Critical witness testimony and an emotional sentencing. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Netflix's latest true crime documentary, The Perfect Neighbor, is dedicated to what it calls Ajike A.J. Owens' legacy, her 4 children. The 35-year-old woman was gunned down in her Marion County, Florida neighborhood on June 2nd, 2023 by her own neighbor. Then 58-year-old Susan Lorincz lived across the street from Owens and her kids, and the women had some tense exchanges about where many kids in the neighborhood were allowed to play. You see, next to the cluster of apartments where Lorincz had rented, there was this empty grassy field. So naturally, the kids gravitated toward it, right? They played tag, they threw footballs, they generally acted like kids. But as you know, with rambunctious young kids comes a lot of noise, and apparently Lorincz didn't like that at all. So despite having no ownership of that open area, by the way, she was constantly scolded.
And you guys, if you want my opinion, allegedly my opinion only, you don't have to feel how I feel. I don't judge. It's up to you. But I think she was just a racist, mean little lady. I do think that plays some factor into
the kids for playing there and being loud. She also involved Marion County deputies multiple times, calling to report the kids that they were trespassing or being a public nuisance. And in the months before the tension between Lorincz and Owens came to a head, Lorincz called 911 to report that Owens had thrown a no trespassing sign at her.
I work at home, I do insurance, and the kids are screaming and yelling. And so it's very hard for me. And this is my apartment here. They're all here in the front. It's really, we can hear it's loud, it's noisy, kids are out there. The kids. Yeah. But when they come on the side here, I just can't hear my clients. Okay. That's not fair to me.
Yeah, I understand.
Right to have peaceful and quiet.
Listen, I understand.
I'm dying laughing because, like, bless my neighbor's soul. Like, if they heard me and don't call the police, I'm grateful, and vice versa. But they're kids, you guys. Like, adults is one thing, right?
I'm sorry, my heart's thumping. I just didn't know she was going to actually get physical with me.
What other sign?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and that's not cool. You don't get physical. I mean, that should be.
She just threw it?
No, she whipped it at me. I mean, she hit me.
Deputies, they spoke with Owens as well, whose frustration with this whole situation was definitely palpable.
It's funny because I'm the one that never comes outside and says anything to her. But today, I just happen to feel that, first of all, before she moved there, this big open space right here, all the kids, they like to play kickball, football in the space she moves in. I don't want y'all playing over here. This is private property, so they don't play there anymore. Hey, fine. I told my kids, they're playing over there, y'all don't go. Okay? So we have a dog, and she's always taking pictures of the kids. Oh, I'm going to call the police and have you guys arrested. Always, she's badgering the kids. So I told them to go over there, stay away from there, don't, whatever. So we have a dog. My kids take the dog out. The other day, she tells my son, I'm going to have you arrested. And we're going to jail. He's 8, so he's terrified. He won't even walk the dog anymore. So let her know all that. Okay.
She told an 8-year-old, you're going to get arrested for walking in front of my house. A little 8-year-old. In the body cam too, I don't know that we'll see it in this segment of Law and Crime, but in the documentary, you can tell towards the end of it how fed up the police are with the calls regarding like Suzanne having a problem with everything.
So she's terrified. He won't even walk the dog anymore. So I had my 11-year-old take the dog out now. So he's walking the dog on this side. Now you live on this side, okay? You don't want them over here, fine, but this is joint area. You can't tell them they can't walk on this side. And so he's walking the dog and he's all the way back towards the fence. I'm standing here on my phone. She comes outside to go to the car or something. She sees him. Oh, I told you I'm going to have you arrested. I'm going to have you arrested today. She has her phone out like she's taking his picture or whatever. Now he's trying to run back across the street. So I said, I'm sorry, what are you saying to him?
So this was an incident in February. So like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's how much they were having issues. The crime didn't happen until June. She was already calling the popo about the noise and kids.
And so I go over there. So the baby is not private property. You just can't have the dog over here. I told her, first of all, he's not on your property. He's on this side. You don't own it. And even if he was on this side, you don't own this either. You're renting this just like I rent over here, just like they rent over there. You don't own this. You can't tell them. Technically, if they're not in your personal space, that they can't walk the dog or even throw their football over here.
And Owens' neighbors backed her up.
This is just an open field. You know, it belongs to both property. You know what I'm saying? So if the kids want to play there, whatever. And that's what I keep telling her. Hey, as long as you don't get in her door, you don't start throwing rocks, don't be cursing at her. It's okay. She can cut the cups whenever she wants. But and I was trying to reason with her one day because we were all playing here. You know, the kids, everything jumped. All right, let's go. It's just like,
so this incident is in April. So there's like multiple body cams of the incidents leading up to this. And I'm shook. When I was little at my parents' house, we were still playing outside. It wasn't like how times are now with the social media and the tablets and stuff. Like we were still playing outside. So I can't imagine my parents having problems with like us kids being kids outside. It's terrifying.
Hey, you know what? One day you guys are gonna die. And I'm like, and that's when I like, whoa.
As we're covering this kind of story, I will just say, even if you're not a journalist, staying on top of what is going on in the world is so important. But look, these days with all is that
thank you, Jessie, but no thank you.
Back to trustworthy journalism. But unfortunately, these simmering tensions reached a boiling point just a few weeks later. Lorincz had confronted Owens' children before picking up a roller skate and throwing it at her then 10-year-old son, hitting his foot. And when this boy ran away, he apparently left behind a tablet, which Lorincz reportedly took. While Owens' kids went to tell their mom what had happened, Lorincz called 911, reporting to the dispatcher that the child had threatened to beat her up, that she was in fear for her life because they were still outside. Now, Owens, who was furious that Lorincz had not only yelled again at her children, but also threw something at one of them, she goes across the street, she starts banging on Lorinc's door, demanding she open it up and speak with her. Instead, what does Lorincz do? She fires a gun through the locked metal door, hitting Owens once in the chest. Owens collapsed, was still showing signs of life before she was rushed to the hospital, but the hope that she might survive, that was fleeting. And it led to this just absolutely heart-wrenching moment that was caught
I can't even watch this, you guys.
on body cameras.
It has been a very bad day. There's something bad that's happened. And y'all seen it, y'all understand it, y'all experience it, right? Okay. Y'all love me? Okay. Y'all love mom? All right. Well, I got some bad news to tell you. Mom is not coming back anymore. Come. No. Come here. Come over here. Listen to me. No, I know. Okay. It's okay. I know. Okay. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's tough for me. I gotta pause. And okay. Wim Hof, let's take a deep breath. Because this is terrifying. Someone asked in the chat, when did they become neighbors? They became neighbors in 2020. If I'm not mistaken.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You can't go home.
Oh, I have to pause again because it's terrifying. So a little backstory. So 2020, they moved in, or Suzanne actually moved into her neighborhood, if I'm not mistaken. And in 2020, by January of 2021, Suzanne was already calling the police. So it didn't start in 2022. It had started in 2021. So it'd been going on for a while.
It's all right. You guys are going to be okay. It's all right. You guys are all right. It's okay. Relax. You guys are. I know this ain't easy.
Now, here's the thing. While Lorincz was detained that night, she was released. Yes, she wasn't formally arrested until several days later, something that caused uproar in the community. And during that time, she had multiple interviews with detectives where they tried to get her side of the story.
So what happened tonight that led to the conclusion that...
Well, I'm like, kids go home. So they go home, and then all of a sudden she comes out and she is just banging on my door. I'm like, go away. I'm not dealing with you tonight. And then she started banging so hard, everything starts.
Sorry, my StreamYard is freaking out. And yeah, she looks very different from here. And then in one of the, let me fix this. We're about to have a problem with StreamYard. She looks very different from here. And then one of the other interviews that we're going to see in just a second. Hold on, my bad. I'm over this. She's a little nutty, if you ask me. But, okay. Sorry about that.
Shaking. I'm like, you really need to leave. And I said, I'm going to kill you. And she's just banging away. You know, I'm like, it's crazy. And since she has actually harmed me, I'm like, it just keeps getting worse and worse. I'm like, I don't know what to do with her. And she banged so hard, it looked like my door was going to fly off. And I panicked. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's really going to kill me this time, you know? And so I don't even actually remember picking up again. I just remember.
She thought that AJ was hitting the door and it was going to fly off.
Shooting.
Wow.
You haven't really seemed remorseful for today, at least, for what has happened.
Oh God. It just makes me sick. I don't know I can't take it back. It's transpired. It's in the past. I don't know what the hell to do. You know, it's just probably be shutting down again.
So what happens? Lorincz was arrested and charged with manslaughter with a firearm, culpable negligence, battery, and 2 counts of assault. Owens' family had actually wanted prosecutors to charge her with second-degree murder, but according to reporting from Us Weekly, the DA's office said there was insufficient evidence to prove murder here. Now, Lorincz, she went to trial in August of 2024. WCJB reports that the other charges were in fact dropped, so all you had is the manslaughter charge. And she appeared, by the way, very different, having apparently lost a significant amount of weight since her arrest. Lorinc's attorneys, They argued self-defense. This brought up a lot of conversations about stand your ground in Florida, right? The stand your ground laws, we know you don't have an obligation to retreat. You can stand your ground. You can use deadly force if necessary. Well, prosecutor Adam Smith said during his opening statement that firing a gun was an incredibly reckless and unnecessary thing to do here.
The defendant goes into her bedroom, grabs the loaded firearm, then walks all the way back out to the locked front door, and the police are on the way as she's been told. She points at the door, fires one shot at the center of the door, shooting and killing Miss Ajike.
But then you had the other.
I mean, who's answering the door that violent? Like, you know, some states you can have firearms, whatever. I mean, in California, everyone has them, I feel like. But, I mean, shot her through the damn door.
Sad. You had defense attorney 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗗 who argued that the commotion going on outside Lorinc's door wasn't minor. It was terrifying.
Susan is sitting there. She has her firearm. She's several feet away from the door. As AJ is pounding on that door, pounding over and over again for minutes, you'll hear testimony that there is a cement wall right next to the door. And it is moving. It is shaking. So much so that there's a mirror on that wall next to the door, and it's shaking as well. And you'll hear evidence. Susan's heart is pounding. Pounding. The kind of pounding that you feel that's so powerful, that's so treacherous, that you feel the heartbeat in your throat.
That banging on Lorinc's door is really the crux of this whole case, right? How intimidating was the knocking? What was Owens yelling as she was banging on the door? Well, one of the witnesses called was a boy named Uriel, one of the children who was in the neighborhood that day and saw what happened.
I remember her banging on the door.
All right. Mom banging on the door?
Yes.
How is she banging? Can you describe that?
She was banging in a mad type of bang. She was like banging like pretty hard.
Okay. Do you remember Mom saying anything while she was banging on the door? What do you remember her saying?
I remember her saying, open up this door.
Okay. Do you remember Mom cussing at all while she was at the door?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember what she was saying?
Yes.
Okay. What was she saying?
She was saying the B word, you know, and the F word.
Okay. Now, where was Mom banging on the door?
Kind of in the middle.
In the middle?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever see Mom reach for the door handle?
No.
Did you ever hear Mom say, "I'm going to kill you"?
No.
And that's critical, okay? Because witnesses had testified that they never heard Owens say she was going to kill Lorincz, which was one of the reasons that Lorincz had claimed she was so scared. During Uriel's cross-examination by the defense, they really emphasized that the confrontation was intense.
And then after that, you started banging on Miss Susan's regular door, right?
Yes.
And she was banging really hard, wasn't she?
Yeah, mad hard, yes.
I'm sorry?
Hard, yes.
And it was like bang, 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 hard, right?
Yes.
And she was doing it with her fist, right?
Yes.
And AJ was talking really loud as she was banging and banging and banging on that door, correct?
Yes.
Her tone was a loud one and a mad one, right?
Yes.
She was screaming, right?
Yes.
And where she was banging in the middle of the door, kind of like where the door handle is, right?
Objection or misrepresentation of the testimony.
Where was she?
Hold on one second. Overrule the objection. You can answer the question if you know.
Yeah, just Jamie says she should have called the cops, but I don't know if they were sick of her shit or if the banging and shouting was happening. She had called the police already 6 times about the noise, if you mean Suzanne. Yeah. She called the police 6 times prior to this incident.
Yes.
Okay. And she was banging in the middle of the door, kind of like where the door handle is, correct?
No.
She wasn't?
She was banging in, not the middle where the door handle was. Not like beside the door handle, just the middle.
Just the middle? Okay. But in that area, that's when she's banging with her fist, right?
Yes.
And I know you don't want to curse, so I'm going to mention some words, and then you let me know if these are the words that you said. I know you don't want to say it, and I understand. But we have to know exactly the words she was using. She was using the words, right?
Yes.
And right?
Yes.
And she was saying things like this, right?
Yes.
And as I mentioned before, when that bullet flew through the door and struck Owens, it hit her in the chest. And according to body camera footage, she stumbled a few feet from Lorinc's door before collapsing. Witnesses tried to help staunch the bleeding and keep Owens conscious until paramedics could take over. But you had a forensic pathologist who testified about the absolutely catastrophic nature of Owens' injuries.
Can you describe to the jury the damage that the projectile caused as it entered her body and proceeded through it?
Sure. So the projectile entered the right side of the chest. It then hit the fourth rib, after which it went through her right lung. It went through the heart. It went through the esophagus. It also went through the aorta.
Wow.
After which it went through the diaphragm, the spleen, and it was recovered from the left lower abdomen area.
Wow. It hit like almost every freaking organ. I had not learned that. We're going to watch this when we go through the trial.
Now, as we know, everybody has the opportunity to testify in their own defense, right? It's their right. And while they can listen to attorney advice, the decision whether or not to take the stand is left up entirely to each individual defendant.
Ms. Lorincz, have you discussed with your attorneys the decision regarding whether or not you will testify or not?
Yes, I have.
Do you need any additional time to discuss that decision with them?
No,
Have they forced you to make a decision in any way?
no,
Have you made a decision on your own?
yes, I have.
Can you tell us what that decision is?
I am not going to testify.
You've made that decision freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Okay.
So both the state and the defense rested their cases, and then they delivered their closing arguments.
Thank you, Chuck's Anderson granddaughter. Thank you so much for gifting a membership. I appreciate you, and welcome Tammy Loomis to the members. Thank you, Chucks. I appreciate you. And hey, Shadi, good to see you.
She was angry the kids were being noisy. And she admitted to throwing the roller skate like we saw in the photo a few minutes ago. She told the 911 operator that she was sick of the children. Her words were, "They are bothering me. They won't effing stop." She wasn't afraid. She was angry. You heard the tone of that 911 call. The 911 call, an operator asked, "Are you in danger?" And she said, "No, I locked my door." She locked her metal door. We know from her 911 call, the main lock was engaged. We
Florida. It's in Florida.
know from her interview with the detectives, the deadbolt was engaged. So at this time, she is behind a closed, locked, deadbolted metal door, standard metal door, about 1 3/4 inches thick. She's behind that in her concrete block home. Ms. Owens made it clear to the defendant that she wanted the defendant to come out and deal with this situation. If Ms. Owens wanted to get into that house, all she had to do was take something from the patio, one of that little Santa thing that was sitting there, throw it through the sliding glass door, shatter the door, and get in there. She didn't do any of that.
Yeah, imagine if the police were called there 6 times, really. AJ never once got violent with her.
Goal was not to get in the house. It was to get the defendant to come out and deal with the situation with her children. Even in the defendant's interview with the detectives, she was asked what was the first thing that came out of Ms. Owens's mouth. And the defendant said, Ms. Owens first said, "I want to speak to you because you're talking to my sons. I don't like the way you're talking to my sons."
If Susan Lorincz was in a dwelling in which she had a right to be, she had no duty to retreat. If you remember during the trial, Mr. Smith had asked some of the witnesses, did Susan shoot from way back there by her bedroom? Did she shoot from behind that countertop or behind that kitchen? It doesn't matter. because she has no duty to retreat and she can stand her ground when she is in her dwelling if she is faced with imminent danger. Another important part of this is if she reasonably believed. We do not judge Susan Lorincz with what we in this courtroom have experienced in life. It's not what I would do, or Mr. Buxman or Mr. Smith would do in that circumstance. It's what Susan Lorincz reasonably believed was necessary to prevent. That's a very important word, prevent.
It only took about 2.5 hours for the jury to come back with a verdict.
Verdict as to count one. We, the jury, find as to count one of the charge. The defendant is guilty of manslaughter.
So what happens next? Well, ahead of her sentencing, Lorincz met with a licensed psychologist who testified at the sentencing hearing in November of 2024 that Lorincz had PTSD after suffering severe abuse and trauma during her childhood. And this psychologist was also asked about how Lorincz...
Why do people always bring up their childhood? Like, look at how old this lady is. Like, now it's an issue.
Reacted to the enormous consequences of her actions.
Was she very...
Unless she was getting yelled at like she did to the kids, I mean...
very remorseful in regard to Miss Owens and her passing away?
To me, she expressed, especially in the last 2 times that I saw her, that when she looks at this rationally, right, she said to me, I now realize that she was like a mama bear, taking care of her kids. And that's how I see her now. But that's not what I saw that day.
Owens' mother, who had been a powerful voice in the call for justice in this story, gave a heartbreaking statement on behalf of the family.
My name is Pamela Dias. I am the mother of Ajike Owens.
Sorry, her name is Ajike. I said it incorrectly earlier. I mean, no disrespect.
Was shot and killed by Susan Lorincz.
That's actually a very beautiful name, too. Like Ajike.
I stand before you with the burden of articulating and conveying the depth of our grief and the trauma that Susan Lorincz inflicted on our lives. And to also share the devastating impact that Susan caused when she fatally shot my daughter, Ajike Owens.
And this lady is now trying to sue the family of Ajike, AJ. This lady who shot her. That's so gross.
June 2nd of 2023. It is virtually impossible to convey all of the ways Susan has devastated our lives.
Now, Lorincz may have chosen not to testify in her own defense during the trial, but she certainly had a lot to say during sentencing, speaking for nearly 15 minutes.
This woman kept coming after me. I had approached her because I was watering my plants, and she's going, oh, there's a crazy old white lady. And I'm like, you can't just go around saying someone's crazy. I mean, it was insanity. So I went to say something to her, and she verbally attacked me again. She's like, you've been calling my kids racist names and stuff. I said, no, ma'am, I have not. And she kept getting angrier and angrier. The more I said no, the angrier she got. So finally I said, I was terrified. I mean, she went from a very relaxed position to a position here. I could see her neck veins starting to bulge. Her pulse is really getting, fast. And I'm thinking, she's going to beat the hell out of me right here in the street. So I said, listen, I'm sorry. If that's what you think I said, I'm very sorry. I don't mean to offend anybody. I didn't say it, but I'm sorry. I went to walk away, and she's following 1 foot behind me the whole time to my apartment till I slammed the door in their face. Again, never had anyone do anything that aberrant in my life.
Lorincz did finally get around to apologizing to the people.
I can't with her.
People whose lives she completely ripped apart. Well, maybe I should say sort of apologized.
I would like to make a statement to AJ's mom, children, and friends. It is with heavy heart and great remorse I write this letter to you. First and foremost, I'm so sorry that I took AJ's life. I never intended to kill her. The night I shot that gun, I was confused as to why she was screaming and pounding on my door. I had an idea that told her I had hit him. I could not understand why she was so angry. And she truly scared me. Now that I know he told her I hit him, I am just profoundly sad. Not only did a mother die, but a daughter and a sister. I think of your family's loss and know how hard it is to lose someone you love. Not being able to see that person, look at that person, or just talk to that person is such an empty feeling. I so wish I could go back and change things so that she was still here. I would trade my life so that she could be here, if it were possible. I know that you have all suffered from her loss, and I have prayed for you and your family during this time so that you can, that God could help you. Nothing I can do will change the outcome. I can only tell you I have cried and I feel horrible for my actions. Please accept my humble and sincere apology for this tragedy.
Judge Robert Hodges didn't hold back as he considered what the punishment for Susan Lorincz should be, what she deserved for killing Owens.
When I look at the nature of the offense, I find that the shooting was completely unnecessary in this case. Miss Lorincz was behind the door was locked. She had already called law enforcement. They were en route. She knew they were en route.
So she knew she had already called the police and then still shot AJ through the door.
She was in a relatively safe position. For some reason, she went into her room and found a gun. She could have stayed in the room and put another locked door between her and Miss Owens, but she came back out, put herself in front of the door. And at the time she fired the gun through the door, she was safe. Miss Owens was simply, although she was clearly banging loudly and was probably very angry over the whole situation, it appears to be she was mostly demanding that Miss Lorincz come outside, which would indicate she had no indication of coming inside the house. So when Miss Lorincz fired the gun through the door, she did so knowing a person was directly on the other side of the door. So what I'm going to do in this case is order she be adjudicated guilty of manslaughter with a firearm, in order to serve 25 years in the Department of Corrections. Credit for 538 days. It's $100 cost of prosecution, $100 fine, court cost. Good luck to you, ma'am. You have 30 days to appeal.
Susan Lorincz is serving her sentence at the Homestead Correctional Institution in Homestead, Florida. She did a prison interview, by the way, with WCJB in September of this year, completely stuck to her story. That includes the allegation that the boys told her they were going to beat her up, that Owens had said she was going to kill her. And by the way, as I mentioned, these are statements that witnesses said they did not hear. According to the Florida Department of Corrections website, Susan Lorinc's release date is set for April 8th, 2048. And that
We're going to watch the interview, the prison interview she gave. It's about 15 minutes long. How devastating is this case? And then we'll read the 3-page letter that Susan Lorincz wrote. So AJ Owens' family filed a lawsuit against her, and now this lady from prison is going to try to fight it. Wonder what happened to her in life to hate it so much, right? Bitter lady. Hitting the door isn't enough. The Castle doctrine says there has to be a break-in. The deceased never broke in. Exactly. I don't even think AJ went over there even acting crazy. I really don't believe that. She's a miserable soul. It can't be more obvious. She was not scared. She was mad. I totally agree. Okay, let's watch this interview. She gave this in 2023 after she was sentenced. And then after that, I'll read the letter. I just wanted you guys to get an idea before we get into the interrogation.
arrested, charged, and convicted in the shooting death of Ajike Owens in Ocala in 2023, describes the moments leading up to her pulling the trigger.
She's pounding and she's pounding and she's pounding, and I just, I was terrified.
Susan Lorincz, in her own words.
If anything could have possibly gone wrong, it went wrong.
From the public outcry calling for her arrest.
So unfair. So unfair. This is not fair.
I've made such a huge mistake. That's all I kept thinking is, oh my God.
To the reason she did not take the stand.
If you made a huge mistake, just take the lawsuit. You're already you're gonna probably, look at how old she is now. Plus 25 years. I'll have to look at what her exact age is.
In her own defense.
Is Susan Lorincz capable of manslaughter?
No. And I'm so, it just makes me sick what happened. I just never, ever thought in a million years this would happen.
She's 61 right now.
And it breaks my heart.
From the South Florida prison, where she is serving a 25-year sentence for manslaughter, the Susan Lorincz interview right now on TV 20.
She says she's sorry, but that does not change the outcome for Susan Lorincz, the woman she killed, Ajike Owens, a mother of 4.
Lorincz filed an appeal to her 25-year sentence, and we'll have more on that later. A dispute over Owens' children playing too close and too loud to Lorinc's home led Lorincz to shooting Owens through her front door. Lorincz was found guilty of manslaughter and was sentenced last November. She's serving her time at the Homestead Correctional Institution in South Florida.
And that's where TV 20's Robert Bradfield sat down with her to talk about her conviction, her apology to Ajike and her family, and what she would have told the jury if she had taken the stand in her defense.
TV 20 did reach out to Ajike's family about this interview, but they declined to comment.
And it breaks my heart because the kids, like they said in an interview, that like their mom would still be alive if they wouldn't have been playing outside. Can you imagine to live with that? I know, Mary Beth. I know. We should all just cry and do one big group hug. And the police interrogation, they said they write a letter. This is a letter. Yeah, it's a 3-pager. The one I'm gonna read. I don't know if that's the same thing you're talking about, Evie. AJ is pretty. Yeah, she is. She's beautiful.
Here's TV 20's Robert Bradfield, one-on-one with Susan Lorincz.
I was given 1 hour to interview Susan. None of my questions were given to her in advance. Over this next half hour, you will hear directly from her about why she shot Ajike, the letter she's written to Ajike's children, and what she considers missteps in the investigation.
Oh, okay. Maybe the letter to the children is different than the one I'm reading today. The one I'm reading today is regarding the lawsuit that she just wrote in August. But I'll try to find that one for tomorrow's live.
Start here. You were convicted of manslaughter.
Yes.
Sentenced to 25 years.
Yes.
You are 61 now.
Yes.
You might be in your mid-80s before you leave here, or you might not leave here at all. How have you reconciled that?
Wow.
Day by day, and going to a lot of services, leaning on God, getting into the Word.
Talk to me about that. You attended a church in Ocala, is that right?
Yes.
And you also sang in the choir?
Yes.
So as someone of faith, how did you end up here?
A very unfortunate series of events.
Take me back to June of 2023. What do you know specifically of that day?
I remember the kids screaming and yelling. I had a migraine headache. I was in my bedroom, shut everything down, closed curtains. Everything was dark. And when they finally left, I had to pack up a computer for my work to ship back to the home office. So I wanted to do that, and I didn't realize the children were still outside. There were 3 boys, and they were very close to my sidewalk, and they had their skates around and stuff. I had fallen over a skate, and I said, guys, pick up your skates, and they were like, no. And I said, kids, pick up your skates and please leave. You're trespassing. You know you're trespassing. And the kid said, I'm going to kill you. If I can't kill you, I'm going to find someone to kill you. I had called the sheriff's department.
I don't believe that.
And as soon as he threatened me, and I said, this is insane. This little kid is threatening me. And You know, just the way he said it made me so uncomfortable. There had been multitude of threats. Prior to that, the children said they would set me on fire, and they took one of the no trespassing signs, set it on fire, and then put it on my porch, and they said, "You're next." So when he said this, I'm like, oh my God, you know, it takes a second. Squirt somebody with some lighter fluid, and they left the lighter fluid with the burnt sign. And I'm thinking, they're going to set me on fire. So I went back into the house and I called. The first phone call dropped and I had to call him back again. And so I told them what had transpired it was a really horrible connection. And they just said, wait. So I locked the bottom lock and I waited. Next thing I know, I had to go to the bathroom. So I quick went to the bathroom. I had put my phone down where I left the computer and I forgot where I put the phone. Banging on the door. I thought, oh my goodness, the cops are here so quick. They must have been in the area. And I said, 1 minute. As soon as I said 1 minute, she went on the tirade, expletives and just horrible language, you know, screaming at me, pounding on the door so hard. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, you need to leave. You're trespassing. You were told not to come here by the sheriff's department. You know you're trespassing. You need to leave. And then she said, I'm going to effing kill you. And I went, oh my God. And she's pounding and she's pounding and she's pounding. And I just, you know, I was terrified.
AJ's family said she didn't even talk like that. So like, Suzanne, why are you lying?
Terrified.
There was a lot made during trial and even when detectives were interviewing you about the loudness of the pounding. And you had said multiple times, I'm fearful of my life. You still contend that?
Oh God, yes. It just made me so, it gave me a panic attack, actually. She was pounding so hard. She had previously done this and had broken my door frame in December of 2022. So I was like, she broke the door frame once. She's going to end up coming through this door.
You then made, though, the conscious decision to go into your bedroom and grab the gun from your trash
And what, Suzanne? Beat you up?
can?
Yes.
And you said you couldn't find your cell phone.
Exactly.
So take me back behind the decision then of you going into your bedroom, taking the gun out of the trash can, possibly knowing that you could use it. And you did. You shot once.
Yes, once. I was aiming for the top left corner of the door. And she pounded so hard that I could hear the frame crack. And it did. It splintered the frame. And when she did that, I went like this and I pulled the trigger. Because even in my questioning and the police report, I said, I don't remember firing the gun.
Coming up, Susan Lorincz addresses what she considers missteps in the investigation and the proof she says she has that Ajike Owens' children lied about what happened. Susan Lorincz says she was within weeks of moving to a new property when she shot and killed Ajike Owens in the summer of 2023. She talks about that in this portion of the interview, and she answers my question, is Susan Lorincz a racist?
I just know the gun went off, and I heard...
Why do I like this man?
She said, ow. And I thought, oh crap, I hit her. And I thought, how in God's green earth did I, aim for that left corner and I hit her? I couldn't figure things out.
Was the upper left corner more of a warning shot?
Yes, absolutely.
So you did not intend to shoot her and hit her?
No, never.
Well, I believe you also testified or told detectives you did not go outside at that moment, but you called 911 again. Yes. And you said what?
I told them that I had hit her. I said she was pounding on my door, she was threatening to kill me, and I shot her. And I knew I shot her because she said, ow. And I thought I grazed her somehow. And I couldn't imagine where that shot went. I never even saw the shot. I mean, I was just so terrified. I remember I was shaking, I was crying. It was horrible.
Is Susan Lorincz capable of manslaughter?
No. And I'm so, it just makes me sick what happened. I just never, ever thought in a million years this would happen. And it breaks my heart. I mean, I don't know. I can't take it back. I can't replace her. I can't say, I did an apology to the family, and I'm still so sorry. And I know her kids are without a mom, and I know that it's been hard on her mom. I know everybody's hurting. I wish I could change things.
Some people have also asked, why not wait?
You wish you could change things for 3 years. You were an a-hole to her and the kids, to AJ and the kids.
The cops to arrive instead of shooting her.
Because when I called, when the kids said they would set me on fire, the Marion County Sheriff's Department never showed up. I ended up having to go there, show them the sign, show them the lighter fluid days later when I finally had a break in work. So I thought, they can come, they cannot come.
There might be people, though, that have noisy neighbors. You live on the bottom floor. You might hear the people above you. You might hear kids running down the hall as well. But is that enough to grab a gun from a bedroom?
No, that's not why I grabbed my gun. When she said, I'm going to kill you, I firmly believed she was going to kill me. That's why I grabbed the gun, because she had shouted that at me.
Did you ever consider leaving that neighborhood?
I had sold a horse, got a mortgage, and I was in the process of buying a small place. I wanted out. I didn't want to be there anymore. And it would have closed within a couple weeks.
Why should we listen to you now?
Because I have...
We don't want to listen to you now.
Proof that the children lied. And again, when you're dealing with young children, you know that they're going to make mistakes.
This pisses me off. Proof that the children lied. Regardless of the situation, you shouldn't have murdered their mother. Why are you going to say they're lying? Why would they lie? They already lost their mom. What more do you want?
He told his mother, I hit him. So I understand when she first came to that door and she was raging, I did not know what happened. I mean, to me, I thought she was having a psychotic break, or she was high on something, or she was just, I just thought, oh my God, what is going on here? When I found out he lied to his mom, I'm thinking, she came home from work, she was tired. All she wanted to do was put her feet up, and he tells her, I hit him. When the prosecutor asked the child, where were you hit? He said, oh, she never hit me. That's in his testimony. And the prosecutor knew he dropped the charges for assault battery. Then the children lied about their location. He said he was right next to his mother when she was shot. He was 60 feet away at the mailboxes.
Do you think that there were any missteps in the investigation?
Oh, yes, many.
Oh.
I think once those children had said that it was a racial matter, they're like, oh my God, she's a racist. And that's just not true. I was married to a Middle Eastern man who was Muslim. My nephew is part Black. I've had Black friends.
I can't stand when people do that. Oh, I'm not racist because my cousin dated someone. Like, I really, it's so ignorant.
Since I was 5 years old, I grew up in Passaic, New Jersey, very, very diverse, demographic. And I have Black friends here in jail. And I'm like, oh my God, it's not true. It's emphatically not true.
Susan Lorincz is not a racist.
No, sir. Not at all.
Still ahead, we ask Susan Lorincz about her decision not to take the stand in her defense, and if race played a part in her decision to fire her gun. Susan Lorincz says on advice from her attorney, she should not take the stand. She says she regrets that decision, and she explains what she would have told the jury.
It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. It's such a lose-lose situation. No one's won. No one. It's just, like I said, it was a horrific series of events. And just like if anything could have possibly gone wrong, it went wrong.
If you had an opportunity to go back and you were reliving this moment in real time again, what would you do differently?
I was supposed to go out earlier in the evening, and I said, no, I really don't feel well. I would have left. It's tearing me apart. I killed someone. At the end of the day, she's not here anymore. Her kids don't get her. She missed all the events in their lives, weddings, graduations, all that other stuff. And her kids are going to miss her.
Do you think there might be a time where you might want to sit down and write to them?
I have written to them. I've taken a restorative justice class. So we've been working on our letters.
Have you sent it to them?
I don't know if I can. So I would have to get information if I can send them.
Talk to me now also about the trial. Were you satisfied with your defense team?
No.
Why?
Wow.
My attorney said, I strongly recommend you do not testify. And had I testified, I could have told them
when she broke the doors. And that was the one thing that the jury got hung up on. And I had 2 other witnesses who would have corroborated, we knew the door was broke, and they were never called.
And the door being broken, you contend what? That she could have easily gotten in?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Because the actual frame of the door was not solid.
You regret not taking the stand?
Yes.
Which then could have opened you up to cross-examination, but at the same time, you would have been able to tell your side of the story.
Exactly.
Have you had a discussion with the defense attorney regarding that decision?
It was very brief and terse.
Terse, what'd you say?
I told her it was reprehensible that she gave me the warning.
Was there a time during trial that you thought that you might be found guilty or not guilty?
I honestly did not know what was going to transpire.
Yeah, you're right, Mary Beth. She called the kids the N-word. Yeah, that's racially motivated.
I think it was at sentencing. After you had sat down, you would put your hands on the table and put your hands in your face. What were you thinking in that moment?
I've made such a huge mistake. That's all I kept thinking is, oh my God.
You also at sentencing talked about your past, including surgeries, and if we can maybe discuss this about sexually being abused. Do you think that played a part in who you are now?
Yes. The fear factor. She acted like my father, and it just triggered that. I felt like a child who was going to get beat, and my father was very brutal. I mean, he put me in the hospital, and it wasn't fun. And when the prosecution said, oh, you could—
That doesn't mean you can shoot people, just like Brian Walsh had issues. Doesn't mean he can chop up his wife. You can't go shooting people because you had a shitty childhood.
Locked the door. My father kicked in more doors than I can count. And if we were under the bed, he would flip the beds over and grab us. So to me, there was no safe place.
Our viewers may be watching this saying, why are you giving her an opportunity to speak? And again, for that, you would say what?
Because I want the truth to come out. I just want people to know the truth, that I am not a racist, that I did not do this on purpose. This was not, a premeditated thing. I had no animosity for this woman.
You say no animosity, but police had been called to your place numerous times before. We have the body camera video too.
6 times.
There's got to be some animosity.
I try not to hold it against a person. I've made my fair share of mistakes, and I wouldn't want somebody to retain anger against me. Like I said, we all have bad days. Just get over it and move on, because if you hold on to that, your life's going to be miserable.
But some say you did not move on because you grabbed the gun. You had situations with her children before. Was this a lapse of judgment in your part by taking the gun?
I, honest to God, thought she was going to kill me, and it was fear. It was fear.
Kill you with her bare hands?
I feared for my own safety.
Do you think this case also revolved around race?
How many instances had they had, and AJ never did anything like that?
And what do you say to those who say this was a white woman who shot a black woman?
I'm so very sorry. That's how it happened. I'm white, she's black. You cannot pick how you are born. It's just, it is what it is. But it was not because she was a black woman. It's because she said, I'm going to kill you.
Coming up next, the status of Susan Lorinc's appeal as Ajike Owens' family focuses on a nonprofit to help families impacted by gun violence.
We're wrapping up Robert's Susan Lorincz interview, and we're joined by Robert now. Robert, you reached out to Ajike's family as well as the state attorney's office. What kind of response had they given you about this interview?
Well, I can tell you the state attorney's office did send us a statement, and they told us specifically they did not call the children as witnesses during this trial. They also did not introduce any of the children's deposition testimony as evidence, and that was something also that Susan said she found that they lied on their depositions as well. She takes issue with with that. We also reached out to the public defender during Susan Lorinc's trial. She says she has no comment. And again, Ajike's family also told us they did not want to respond to this interview, but we did hear from her mother after Susan's sentencing. That was November of last year, telling us the apology Susan gave during that sentencing was not sincere.
Susan's apology was a last-ditch attempt to save herself. It wasn't sincere. She never showed remorse.
Robert, Ajike's family did start a nonprofit to help families cope with losing a loved one to gun violence. Do you have any updates at all on that nonprofit?
Yeah, we did speak with Pamela Dias. That was back in June when she announced this nonprofit as well. Again, she created what's called Standing in the Gap Fund. The goal there is to raise $3.5 million.
Okay, First Liberty says, Evie says, right, she had the time to make up a new story. Exactly. No, what she said, this was not a premeditated. She wasn't charged with first degree. She was charged with a crime or negligence. No animosity. She can say that now after the fact. No animosity, but you involve the police 6 times. Exactly, Melly. I had anger towards people who loved ones for my kids, who took loved ones for my kids, but I'm not out there causing problems. Exactly, Leona. Exactly. You're not out there taking everyone out, huh? Well, that's a good thing. We need you here.
$1 million for families impacted by gun violence over the next 5 years. She also explains
But no, I mean
how
that with respect. Like, you're right. We're no one's going out doing this kind of stuff.
she can also be a support system for those families.
It's healing. It relieves some of the stress, of the burden I carry in my heart, knowing that I can be a support system to someone in need. Because
yeah, Evie, you bring. Oh, her mom's so pretty too. I believe that's her mom. Evie, you make a good point. You threw skates at her little boy. Yeah, she did. She threw the skates and she took their iPad. Oh yeah, if someone takes my kid's iPad, man, those are fighting moves. Those are fighting moves. And I don't even have kids, but you know, if I did.
I know firsthand how it feels.
Don't be touching my sheet.
And to know that I am doing something, you know, it's never going to take away the pain or the grief, but it's going to support families where they have one less thing to worry about.
We also want to let you know Susan did file an appeal, but the public defender assigned to her case asked to be removed. So the judge says, Susan, you're going to have to go this alone right now.
Okay, thank you.
The public defender was removed.
The highly
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't. She reminds me of Sarah Boone. Okay, let's get to the letter that she just recently wrote on August 8th, 2025 in regards to the allegations and the lawsuit. It's a couple pages, so it won't be very long. And then we'll get into the interrogation. Thank you guys for being here. Please hit the like button. I appreciate you guys. Okay, let me share this. Okay. What does she expect to happen being the neighborhood Karen? Thank you, Chucks. Exactly. Don't act like the Karen. Man, I would never want to be the neighborhood Karen. I would want to be the cool Karen. Okay, let's see. So this was written on August 8th, 2025. Susan Lorincz to the Circuit of the 5th Judicial, Marion County, in response to general allegations. AJ Owens and her children were trespassing. So I'm trying to read this writing too as we go. There were multiple, quote unquote, no trespassing signs on the property. Miss Owens did, in fact, scream, threaten to beat me multiple times while trespassing. Miss Owens was instructed to stay off the property along with her children. And then it says multiple, and then it's crossed out, by the county sheriff's department. At no time did I file erroneous allegations. Miss Diaz was not present and in another state until AJ died. You mean until you murdered her? Oh my God, I can't stand this lady. And thank you, Chucks, for gifting another membership. Leona got it. Yay. That makes me happy because Leona's always here supporting. I love that. Thank you guys. You guys are helping my channel so much. I appreciate you guys. And thank you, Mary Beth. Yes, you also gifted another membership. Thank you so much and welcome Leona to members and third side. And that's good because the members only get the, remember, members get all the calls and body cam that is up and will be going up. So like the Kenzie calls without commentary and all that. And then you get all the fun content. And then we're going to be doing giveaways here. And later tonight, we're going to start the second channel. So it really helps and you get good content when you become a member here. So thank you, Mary Beth and Chucks for gifting. Let's see. So it says Miss Owens did not knock politely and speak reasonably on June 2nd, 2023. She pounded and screamed profanities like a lunatic. Miss Owens' children had lied to her and she stated, I hit redacted, which is one of the kids' names, with a roller skate. During this encounter with prosecutors, Buckman and Smith, lawyers maybe, redacted, recanted that the roller skate hit him and only came near him. Assault and battery charges were dropped. In depositions, all the children told different stories about their location at the time of the shooting. Redacted was over 60 feet away at the mailboxes. The female juvenile who testified at the trial stated she was an eyewitness to AJ Owens throwing a metal sign and said, I don't know what that word is. Strike me. Oh, and seeing the sign strike me in the leg. Oh my God, Suzanne, chill out, dude. I was 7 weeks post-operative for my neck fusion. If you were post-op for neck fusion, I used to work for a neck surgeon. What the hell are you even doing outside acting like a Karen? Like, get your ass inside, do your little stretches, pop a painkiller, because that's probably what you're needing at the time, hun. And thank you. Thank you, PF, for becoming a member. Oh, you gifted one. Thank you. And welcome SD to membership. Thank you, PF. Thank you to you guys who are gifting. I really appreciate it. I won't forget that. It really helps the channel. So Gypsy Girl and everybody who's been gifting, I appreciate it. Okay, and then it says redacted, which is one of the kids, testified in his deposition that Miss Owens would come onto my sidewalk by my patio and threaten to fight me. He testified she was trying to scare me so that I would stop calling Marion County sheriffs. In Redacted and Redacted's deposition, Redacted and his sister Redacted would come over to my apartment and do ding dong ditch, which is when children knock on your door and run away. Dude, I used to play this. Redacted also testifies that Redacted struck Miss Lorincz with a water bottle in his depositions. A water bottle, Suzanne? Really? That's what you're tripping about? The fact that Miss Diaz is now asking for money goes directly against her saying no for the family and the sentencing paperwork. Because remember, AJ's family filed a wrongful death suit against her. I now wish to countersue for slander, defamation of character, for damages that exceed $50,000. Miss Diaz, and she names all the kids individually. And one, she's an ass. Charles Gabbard for not securing the property correctly and allowing Miss Owens and her children for harassment, physical threats of harm, and mental distress, or was that mental duress? Completion of fact and expert discovery to follow. Copy sent to Anthony Esquire, Susan Lorincz, prison ID 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗗 This is her little envelope. No, Suzanne, we don't believe anything you say, Suzanne. Please shut up, Suzanne. Please. Oh my gosh, I can't deal with her. Okay. Oh, wait, did PF gifted one? Thank you, PF, for gifting another membership. You're awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Jules got it. Jules Alessio. Welcome to members. Okay, so now let's get into the interrogation. Like I said, I don't know if we'll finish it tonight. It's kind of long. We'll at least get through half of it. And then the other half, if we do get through it, fine. If we don't, I'll save the other half for the jail calls tomorrow, which we'll be doing an early true crime lives tomorrow because it's Friday night and we like to hang out on the Friday nights. So I will play the interrogation. This is a police interrogation after the fact. And thank you for everyone gifting. Shout out to Gypsy, Mary Beth, and Chucks, and PF. I appreciate you guys very much. Let me share the screen. This interrogation is wild if you have not seen this. And like I said, this is a Netflix documentary, so if you guys want to watch that later, it's a really well done documentary.
Water. Yep, perfect. It's just as cold in here. All right, give us just a couple minutes. Okay.
Oh, I just saw Mary Beth's comment. We're like Oprah tonight. You get a membership. That's funny. I just saw that. If I'm ever called the Karen, I'll look at the person and say, no, I'm Mary Beth. I don't think you're this kind of Karen. She thinks these kids have $50,000. I'm disgusted. She's mad that she's being sued, but if you really felt terrible about what you did, you would give the family what they want and do your time in peace and live out your life in peace. You know what I mean? In the prison system. Yes, the perfect neighbor. And like I said, the calls are out, but I want to be respectful. So we'll definitely listen to those tomorrow. It's like 40 minutes of calls. So we might also have a Kenzie call live tomorrow as well. Well, maybe we can change the Karens to Suzanne's. I'm going to fast forward through her just sitting there. Why does she just shoot someone and she does not seem upset? Yay. And if I didn't say this earlier, 𝗕𝗏𝗏 has trial. I think I said it in the Hangout Live we did. 𝗕𝗏𝗏's trial will be starting early 2026. So Laura, yes, there will be a schedule definitely before that, but we will be doing 𝗕𝗏𝗏 trial. You guys know I have been obsessed with that case. I have a playlist on it. I have been continuously on it, on the docket, reading the documents, the whole prosecutor thing, all of it. And we will be doing a recap deep dive of that. That way, when the trial starts, everybody's ready to go. I'm really excited. Okay, I'm gonna fast forward past this rude lady
That you
just sitting there.
Susan.
Okie dokie.
Susan, I appreciate you coming back in and talking with us. You already have a water? Is there anything else we can get for you right
that's
now?
fine.
You're doing okay? All right, very good. Again, if you remember Detective Stiff, this is Detective
I'm
Pender.
Detective Pender. I haven't got a chance to meet you yet, but I'm looking forward to being able to speak with you. I work with Detective Stiff. We work together. I was learning different things. So anyways, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and let him cover what he needs to, and then I'll get a chance to meet you then, okay?
Okay. So, Susan, obviously when we spoke the other night, it was kind of a lot of things going on still. A lot of the pieces of what happened were still trying to be put together. Since then, we've obviously talked to a lot more witnesses who were there. We've gained access to some video from around the area of where your complex is located. So during those interviews, during that process of obtaining new stuff,
Yeah, just Jay, you say I was a hellion. I feel bad now and would never do that. Yeah, I mean, I did a bunch of stuff in my neighborhood too. It was funny and fun. But I mean, we never had a Karen like this in the neighborhood.
obviously it brings new questions that we wanted to kind of cover with you, try to verify some of the stuff you said, as well as clarify things that we don't quite understand. So I was hoping that we could do that today. Obviously, just like last time, I want to make sure that you understand your rights and everything. So before we get started, I just have to read you the same thing I did last time. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer with him, have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to execute these rights, not answer any questions, or make any statements. Do you understand each of those rights I've explained to you? Okay. And having those rights in mind, you willing to talk to us now?
Yes.
Okay. So, like I said, we've talked to a bunch of other people since then. Has there been anything that you've thought of since you and I had last talked, in person at least, that you can remember that maybe at the time, because there was a lot of emotions and,
I don't know what else I could tell you, honestly.
Okay. So nothing that happened that night that you didn't remember at the time, or you just, like I said, there was a lot going on that you maybe didn't think to
I don't know
say
what to
it.
tell you because I thought I told you everything.
Okay, all right.
Wow.
So some of the things, like I said, we were just trying to clarify because we were in the room together for a while talking, and we went over a lot of different things.
Why is she giving attitude?
So one of the things I wanted to clarify with you is, and try to understand better, is when Ajike was at the door, when she approached the door, when was it that you realized that it was her coming to the door?
Because I said, "Who's there?"
Okay. How did you know someone was there initially? Was it because
It was a huge banging?
Okay.
Just pounding at that door.
Okay. So initially there was no words. It was just the pounding.
Yeah.
That's what started the interaction there.
Yes.
And where was the pounding at initially, where it first began?
The front door.
At the front door?
Yes.
Okay. How many times did she, was it just like one or
No,
was
no,
it
no.
several?
It was just bang, bang, bang.
Okay.
Bang.
All right. And then you said you asked her who's there? Okay. And what was said then?
I think she said, "Why do you speak to my children this way?" And I said, "Listen, I'm not going to speak to you. Go away." If she had a problem, she should have called you guys. Honestly. I mean, if she really thought there was something seriously wrong, I don't understand why she just came over and just started pounding on my door and, screaming and yelling.
Because she wasn't being aggressive. She wasn't, she might have been mad that you touched her iPad or whatever the hell happened, but clearly she wasn't trying to be hostile because she could have called the cops. You know what I mean? And like they said in the trial, she could have broke through the window. She could have hurt Suzanne, AJ AJ could have hurt Suzanne any of the 6 times the police were involved. And that's not including the times that they didn't get called, all the altercations.
And then what happened after you said to go away?
Go away, and then it got quiet for a bit. And then she started really banging, just pounding on that door. She was relentless.
How long is a bit, would you say? Like
because
5-10 seconds or 2 minutes? Or?
It was an extended period of time, probably 20 to 30 seconds easily.
But during that time, you didn't hear anything else? Did you think she went away?
No, I obviously knew she didn't go away because she was screaming while she was pounding.
Describe that. When you say screaming, describe what does that mean?
You're not supposed to speak to my children this way. Why did you, and then she was saying, I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, holy shit, and that's when
Well, you said there was like the initial barrage of the pounding, and you said, who's there? And she said, what you said about not talking to her children that way.
Yeah.
And then you said it got quiet. So there was no banging, there was no words being said.
Because I thought she went away.
That's what I was asking. Basically, I'm sorry if I.
No, it's okay. I thought, all right, she's just going to do whatever she wants to do.
And you said that was like 20 to 30 seconds?
Yeah.
And then did she start yelling again first, or was there more banging?
It was banging, it was yelling. I thought she was just going to break down the door.
Okay.
So, my heart was pounding, and I was like, she's really going to kill me.
Okay, so
oh my God.
When she first came up and where were you when she started the beating?
I was
the
in the
very first
bathroom.
time. You were in the bathroom when she started beating.
Yeah.
And did you come to the door?
Well, I was approaching the door, and then she started screaming, and I knew who it was. And I said, that's it, I'm not opening this door.
Okay.
Because I figured if she came in, she would just absolutely, pound me into the ground.
All right. And then when it became silent, after that first round of beating on your door, where were you at then? Did you go?
I went to wash my hands, honestly.
Okay.
Because I didn't know who was at the door, and I wanted to know, and then I was
okay.
So I went back and washed my hands.
Okay. So that's during the time where it was kind of quiet, and you thought that maybe she went away. Okay. And when the banging and the yelling started again, where were you at then?
I think I was in the kitchen.
Okay. All right. And then what happened?
And then she just kept banging and yelling. I'm like, you need to leave. You're trespassing. Get off my porch. Get out of here. I'm not talking to you. Leave.
Okay.
Okay, you guys, remember I said there was 6 documented police calls over roughly 2+ year feud. And then it says she called 911 herself about 8 times in connection with Owens and her children. Though some reporting suggests that the total number of calls or complaints is possibly higher.
Who else was outside the door besides Ajike?
No idea.
You don't know?
I have no idea.
Where were the other kids? Because I know the kids had been over there prior to her coming over.
Yeah, they were right by the, with the fences, and then there's a sidewalk. They were right beyond that sidewalk, inside where it's supposed to be no trespassing.
Okay, so they were outside of the fence while she was banging on the door?
No idea.
Oh, you're not sure?
I have no idea.
Okay.
And you asked me when the kids were there earlier.
Right.
So, the kids finally, I went inside. I figured they left.
So you didn't know who else was out there at that time? Okay. So you went to the kitchen and she was still pounding on the door and yelling. And I know we've kind of gone over this a lot, but I want to make sure now we're getting more like in order of things, because the first time we talked, it was kind of just like it all came out all at once. And now that you've had a little bit of time to kind of think about things that happened again.
Do you guys have a no trespassing sign? I guess I might have one if I'm hiding, like, I don't know, something, or maybe like dogs. I don't know. Is that necessary? I feel like that's a little aggressive, especially in like a family-friendly neighborhood. But I guess for the people that are like breaking in and stuff, I don't. So it's like, yeah, I don't think anyone, even on my childhood street, had them or has them now.
And
actually, I think the crazy neighbor, I lie. Now she used to be a Karen, but not when I was a kid. It was when I was older, like in college. And she has a no trespassing, but she doesn't want, what do you call those people that go to the door and like bring the religious books and they like talk to you? She didn't want any of those people going to her door. So she put it up. So it wasn't necessarily for the kids. She was putting it up for the adults.
Try to get it in a good order that things happen, because it's very important to be able to say, okay, this happened first, this will happen next, so that we don't get them confused or anything.
Oh, solicitors. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Jelly brain solicitors.
After that initial silence where, well, I wouldn't say silence, but it got
Only
quiet.
Karens have them.
You were washing your hands in the bathroom, and then the pounding and the yelling started again, and you went to the kitchen. What were you doing in the kitchen? Just,
I was looking for my phone.
okay.
So I put my phone down somewhere and I started panicking. I started searching for the phone. And then she just kept banging and banging and banging. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. You know, get out of here. You know, I'm like, I have nowhere to go. I mean, I was in the kitchen. There's the sliders, and the sliders are always locked. And just that one door, so there's no escape.
Okay.
I couldn't leave. I couldn't get out of there. I was like, Jesus Christ. And she was pounding so hard, the mirror on my wall was shaking.
Okay. So that first, I'm sorry to go back, but that first time that she pounds on the door, how long do you think that lasted before there was kind of the silence? I know you said
she was a restaurant manager. AJ Owens, she worked in the restaurant and hospitality industry. She was literally a restaurant manager before her death. She was also involved. She was known as a team mom in the football and cheerleading events. Ma'am, I don't think she went up to your door saying, I'm going to unalive you. I'm going to unalive you.
she hit the door. You said, who's there? And that what was it said?
Probably 5-10 seconds she was pounding the first time.
Okay. And then when it started again, how long, and I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit, but we'll kind of come back. When she started pounding on the door again and saying all that stuff to the point where you fired the gun, how long do you think that lasted?
2 to 5 minutes.
2 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, thank you, Leona. That's the good way to use a trespassing sign, like Cree said, for hunting, like bears and shit. And then Leona says, I have beware signs for my dogs. I don't want the children to get hurt. There you go.
Everything's kind of, it was a while. I mean, it was a while. I kept thinking, okay, you guys are going to show up, you know, because I had called earlier and no one was coming, no one was coming. I'm like, shit, couldn't find my phone. And she was just banging and banging, screaming at me, telling me, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. I'm like, she's really going to kill me this time. That's all I kept thinking. She's literally going to come in this house and kill me.
Okay. When did you find your phone? At what point?
After I shot her. I just started searching the house frantically until I found it. And I wanted to make sure that I called and said, you know, I shot, because I heard her go, ugh. You know,
Where was your phone?
I think it was in my computer room.
In the computer room? Okay.
So, let me just understand this a little better because I'm not really sure. So, the woman that got shot, what is her name?
AJ.
AJ, right? It's AJ.
Yeah.
Okay, and how long have you known her?
I really didn't know her. I just, you know, she was a neighbor across the street.
Okay, so how long has she been a neighbor across the street from you? Help me understand that.
A year and a half, 2 years.
Okay, year and a half and 2 years. And in that year and a half and 2 years, how many times have you guys been able to talk?
We've never talked. It's more like screaming.
No, okay, all right. So maybe the better word would be communicate. How many times have you guys been able to communicate in that year and a half or 2 years?
2-3 times.
2 or 3 times. And in those 2 or 3 times over a year and a half and 2 years, what were you guys screaming about? What were you guys communicating about?
She would take her dog and walk it on my sidewalk to make sure it's shit on the sidewalk. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You know, of all the places you can walk and take your animal, you're going to come here. And she
Sure.
said, it's the only place my dog would go to the bathroom.
Okay.
I'm
So-
like, no, I don't think so.
Okay, so you guys would have a disagreement regarding that, some screaming regarding the dog pooping where it shouldn't. What else would you guys communicate about in that 2 or 3 times?
Then one time she was talking to the neighbors and she said, oh, that bitch over there is crazy. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to, you know, sorry. I walked over, I said, what is your problem? And she just went on a tirade. I have never heard someone scream like this woman. I was like,
Yeah, because you were acting crazy and being a bee.
Jesus Christ.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, she exploded. And I'm like, oh shit.
How long ago was that?
2 months ago.
2 months?
2-3 months ago. And then she was saying I called her kids all kinds of names. And I'm like, no, I didn't. And the more I said no, the more irate she got. Finally, I'm like, you know what, let me just back off, say yes, I'll apologize, and scurry away.
What kind of things was she saying that you called her kids?
That I called them racial slurs, that I called them slaves, and that's never happened. I mean, when she said, I'm like, what are you, stop already, stop lying, you know? And I was like, enough, what? I did call them retards once because they just kept coming and coming. I said, are you retarded? You can't read the sign.
Okay.
You know, how many times do we have to tell you you're trespassing, you know?
Now, all these kids nowadays, they have tablets
Ew, I hate that word. And she's calling kids that word.
and phones and stuff. Are you, I mean, you can tell us the truth. I mean, it's just us in here. I think we were looking at the different videos and people were telling us about, we spoke to everybody in the neighborhood separately. Was there other times when you got frustrated or something with these kids and you've said something else that we're not talking about? I mean, have you said other words to them or something about middle fingers or something? Tell me about that.
It wasn't at the kids, it was at the gentleman.
Who's the gentleman?
I only know him by his name, 𝗕𝗕𝗏𝗏.
So, okay.
So he's a guy, he gets all the kids together, so they're screaming and yelling and they're doing all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, stop already. And I asked him, I said, please stop. I don't like the yelling. I just, I'm sort of going to break down.
No, take your time. What is the crazy stuff that 𝗕𝗕𝗏𝗏 has these kids doing? Tell me about that.
He used to ride a four-wheeler. And he would come around the house. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Then he'd have the kids on the back, no helmets, no nothing. And I'm like, stop already. The one time I went out there, he almost hit me. He's like, missed you. Jesus Christ, really? And I'm like, I just can't deal with it. I have an injury right now. I have aneurysm on my left kidney artery. If he hit me, he'd have killed me.
So was it on last Friday that you were kind of giving him the middle finger then? Is that what I was understanding?
I may have given him the middle finger because they're just out there and I took a picture and he's like, oh, go take more pictures. I'm like, because.
Okay, so you were the one flipping them off. You were the one calling them the R word.
What other kind of crazy things is he having these kids do? Is it something where
he would have them exercise and scream and yell, and the kids are like, we're tired, stop, we're tired.
Is he like a coach or do they play sports
I don't
or
know.
something?
I have no idea. And he's like, come on, you weenies, get moving. And the kids are like, no, we want to stop. He's like, you can't stop.
Is he the father of one of those kids that live?
I have no idea. I'm not sure. I don't know who he is. I just know that. And I asked him, I said, please. I said, one of my friends was murdered when I was very young. And she screamed. She was bound and gagged. And the guy thought he killed her. And she screamed. And so every time those little kids scream, I keep thinking of my friend Elizabeth.
Tell me about that. Whoa.
So, and I asked him, I said, 𝗕𝗕𝗏𝗏, please, these kids screaming like this, it's triggering me. I don't want to hear this, And he's like, you're full of shit. You're a liar. You're this, you're that. I'm like, really? I'm like, why would I tell this story and it's not true?
I know this is kind of not really related to what we're talking about, but what happened with your friend? Is that when you were very young? Or?
14.
Oh my gosh.
So that guy came and he raped her and he beat her and he thought he killed her. And he bound her up. She was at Schulten factory, the Old Spice factory in New Jersey. And next to it was a children's playground. And he buried her there in a shallow grave. And she wasn't dead. So when the coroner said that there was all dirt in her lungs because she kept screaming and screaming and screaming. So every time those little girls screamed, it just kind of, made me think of Elizabeth.
Have you ever been a victim?
Wow. Okay, so that's crazy that she had a friend that happened to. But connecting it to the little kids outside, I don't see it.
Of any violence?
Oh, yeah.
Describe that to me.
I was raped and beaten.
Did that happen here or in New Jersey?
In Jersey.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
Started when I was 4. It didn't stop until I was like 20.
Okay. And was New Jersey police or whatever able to help you out with that, give you justice or anything? No. Was that ever reported to law enforcement?
No, because I was starting to be killed.
Okay, so that was something that wasn't reported. And was this from a known family member or something? I worked special victims unit for years. Okay, so this was from a known family member. Have you ever been a victim of some kind of violence from a random person or something like that?
Yes.
Describe that to me.
I was dating a gentleman, a doctor up in Michigan. And we were going to, move forward with a relationship and everything. And he got super drunk one night and he started beating me.
So that sounds like domestic violence. Someone else that you were associated with, and they did something bad to you. Was that you?
Okay, so her childhood trauma and her DV brought her here to be a Karen and shoot AJ Owens.
Will they report that to New Jersey or whatever it may be? Were they able to arrest that man?
Up in Michigan.
Michigan. Were they able to arrest him for anything?
I never said anything. I was so embarrassed.
Sure. Sure. That's common.
I'm an adult. I should know. I mean, as soon as he finished and he passed out, I left.
Okay.
I just got out of the situation, never spoke to him again.
Have you ever been a victim of anything like robbery or anything like that before?
In Jersey, yes.
Okay. Were you like robbed like at a store, a gas station, or describe that to me?
We were selling tools out of the back of my car for some company. And we stopped at a stop sign. It was myself and two other girls who were doing it with me. And they entered the car and just took everything.
Who's they? Who did that to you?
I can't remember. It was a bunch of guys
Okay.
that were in the neighborhood.
Did you able to get them reported and they were
We reported it, but they never found them.
okay. Did those guys ever harass you ever again or anything like
No,
that?
because it wasn't driver.
Wait, this is actually quite hilarious. Yeah. Number 4 story from the past. Dude. How many stories do you need to justify why you shot AJ Owens?
Have you ever been a victim of violence at your home that wasn't someone you knew, a random person coming and hurting you or something like that?
No.
Okay. Anyone's ever broken into your house before in New Jersey or in Michigan or in Florida or anything like that?
They broke into the house when we lived in Pompton Plains.
Is that in New Jersey?
Yeah, this is up in Jersey.
And when you said they broke into, describe that to me. What happened?
Oh my
God.
God.
My brother knew. And he had a dirt bike and everything, so they stole his dirt bike and they sold some other stuff.
Sure. And
Next we're getting here is when I was coming out of the womb, a piece of the placenta hit my eyeball. And as I was coming out of the womb, I realized I would never be the same.
When that happened?
I believe so.
Okay. When you say you believe so, did they like sneak in the night and they went in the garage?
It was in the end of the night and they went out into the shed.
They went out into the shed. Okay. Okay. Scott, I'm trying to understand. I know what happened to you this time. We just talked about that. I'm saying, has anything like this ever happened to you before where someone was trying to break into the house and hurt you or something?
No, not like this.
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that's ever happened to you before. I just wanted to see if there was a similar experience. We talked about unreported sexual abuse. We talked about domestic violence. We talked about whenever you were robbed once of something by some men.
I'm sorry. It's not funny if these crimes seriously do happen to someone, but like the fact that she's bringing them up at this point in her life, I'm shook. Jamie says, was she receiving any therapy for this? And then Evie says, one day when I was walking to school in 1936, this car drove past me. All of that, dude, I'm dead. She'll stop with the stories when someone starts to believe her. Yeah, exactly. He like said, are they trying to give her an dude? I can't even handle this.
Then there was something stolen out of a shed. Is that right, in New Jersey? Yes. Okay. But then we're talking about what happened there today. And this woman that she passed away, you said that you guys had yelled at each other 3 or 4 times in about a year and a half to 2 years. Is that right?
Yes.
And the last time she yelled at you a lot. Did you ever, I worked as a patrol deputy for years before becoming a detective. Did you guys ever get in like a fight in the street or anything like that? No, nothing like that.
You couldn't be kidding me.
I'm
sorry.
I gotta ask. I guess I don't know you that well.
She's like, I won't throw fists, but I'll pew someone.
Did she ever brandish a weapon or anything like that or something?
The only thing she ever did is she picked up the no trespassing sign and threw it at me and hit me.
Okay. And I know that the police came out a lot of times. Did the police ever come out for that time when she threw the sign?
Yeah, and then everybody in the neighborhood said, oh, we didn't see anything.
Okay.
So it was a he said, she said, so they said they couldn't charge anything.
Sure.
I'm like, all right.
And obviously you have a firearm. I haven't had a chance to ask you about this. Now, is that a gun that you've had for years? Or you just had it for a couple of weeks? Help me understand that.
No, over a year.
Okay, over a year. And where do you normally keep that secured in the house?
That's usually next, it was in a garbage can next to my bed.
Okay. And is it like?
Now that was the Remington that you're talking about that you got over a year ago?
Yeah.
Okay, so when we were at the house, there was the other one, the 22, was a Ruger.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you had that firearm?
A few months.
Just a few months?
Yeah, not very long. And the only reason I did it is because it was so expensive to shoot the Remington.
Oh, with the 380 rounds?
The 380, yeah, way more expensive. So I got the little plinker, just target practice and stuff like that.
Are you experienced with firearms? You got 2 guns, and it sounds like you have the little plinker, and you know about the price of ammo. Are you well versed with them?
I used to be terrified of firearms. And then a friend said, you really can't defend yourself. He said you should think about getting a gun.
Okay.
So,
when did you first get a gun? Was it just, or did you have other guns historically?
No, I never did.
Okay.
I first bought a 9mm.
Never did, but then has 2.
But it was just way too much gun for me, so I sold it. And then I got the little 380.
Okay. And did you go to any kind of training for those using guns, like going to the range, or tell me about that?
Went to the range, watched videos, all the other stuff, just self-educating. And I was going to go take a permit to carry course,
Sure.
and I didn't get around to it.
Yeah, okay. So you were self-training yourself, you had plans to do that in the future, but it didn't come to that. So thank you for helping me understand that. And describe to me, AJ, you've only had these arguments with her a few times, but what I'm confused about is that we're talking about her banging on it 3 times, and then there's the pause, and there's everything else you just described to Detective Stiff. And you said that this was the time that she was going to come and kill you. That's confusing to me because it sounds like you guys really didn't have any other times that she was going to come and kill you.
No, she was saying she's going to kill me. I mean, she was verbalizing it. She was saying, "I'm going to kill you."
Okay.
That's how. It's not like this is the time she's going to come and kill me. I
So
mean,
I'm trying to get into your mind, and I'm trying to be brought to that moment to how you.
I don't think that's what AJ was saying. I think AJ was saying something like, "Come out here and talk to me. Why are you touching my kids' stuff? Why are you continuing to harass them? If you don't come out here," maybe she said something like, "I will beat your ass," but like even at that point, you deserve it, Suzanne.
Why you believe that? And we were talking. You were in the bathroom, and you were in the kitchen. I mean,
Sorry.
I know that she's
Not
saying
sorry.
something, and you're inside your house, and she's on the other side of that wall and that door. Were you able to ever see her to see if she had anything in her hands?
There's no people or anything.
There's no peephole. Thanks. Okay. Were you able to look through a window or anything to see if she had anything in her hands or anything? Okay. So you don't know if what's going on, but you can hear her voice.
Yes.
And you said that she's hitting the wall hard enough that was it the door?
Mirror.
That the mirror is moving.
Yes.
And she's hitting the door.
She's hitting me.
Okay. There's no peephole or anything like that. You don't know who all's out there, but you can hear her voice.
Yes.
Okay. What made you shoot that spot on the door? It sounds like you had some experience with the gun. So bring me to that moment where what happened?
I grabbed the gun. I was shaking like a leaf, and the more she pounded, the more she screamed. I was like, "Stop, stop, stop, go away, move away." She wouldn't move away. Finally, "I'm going to kill you," and that was the last time. And I just fired the weapon.
Okay. Was there a spot you picked or something like that?
I just kind of. There was the door. I knew she was at the door. Shot.
So since the last time you and I talked, I went in the house. We, did the stuff inside the house as far as photographing, looking at where everything is at related to where the door is. And you said you had shot from the kitchen. So when you come in, it's
Kitchen
like a
table.
kitchen table.
The table that's there, the 2 seats with the table.
Okay.
That's where I shot from.
That's where you shot from. Okay. Like right next to it,
Yes.
or like further back?
It was. I remember the table being there.
Okay. How were you holding the gun when you fired it?
Like
With
that.
2 hands?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you were initially in the kitchen when, well, you went to the restroom and then you were in the kitchen looking for your phone while she was pounding on the door. And you said that you believe it was between 2 and 5 minutes.
Yes.
Was that total time from when the first pounding started to the time that you fired the shot, 2 to 5 minutes? Or do you think it was shorter time than that or longer?
To me, it seemed like 2 to 5 minutes.
2 to 5 minutes
Well,
total.
Well, by the time I shot the weapon, at least 5 minutes.
Okay. Did she ever try to open that glass sliding door or open the door handle or anything like that? Or was it just the pounding?
I just remember her pounding and pounding and pounding.
Okay. So you said that you kept the firearm in the trash can in the bedroom. So at some point, did you go?
Yes.
So you thought about it and said, I might need this, or?
Absolutely. I mean, I got terrified. I mean, I was so terrified she was going to come in and kill me.
Okay. So you left the kitchen area?
Yes.
And that's when you went to your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. Where was the other gun at that time? Do you know?
I thought it was right there.
The Ruger?
I thought the Ruger was right there.
I mean, we found, yeah, it was, but you said that you used the 380, right?
Yeah.
When you fired the gun? Okay. Is there any reason why you chose that gun inside the other one? They were both loaded, right?
Yeah, I caught that too, Chucks. I thought it was 20 to 39 seconds door banging, now 5 minutes. Actually, I think she said it was like 20 to 60 seconds and now 5 minutes. So she can't even keep her lies
Right. They were both loaded. I just don't
in
want to
order.
pick up.
Okay. Did you handle the other gun at all?
I don't remember.
Don't
Honest to God, don't remember.
Okay. Because the reason I asked is when we went in there, the 22 was actually on top of the 380. So, I'm just trying to figure out how it is that you went in there, took the 380, fired the 380, went back, and you would have put it back in there, but then the other gun was on top of it. So I'm just trying to figure out if maybe, you're just moving stuff around when after things happened or something fell? I'm just trying to understand.
It may have fallen off the bed. I don't know. I just remember looking for my phone, and I just remember I put the gun back in. So, there's all kinds of papers in there, so it could have flip-flopped.
Is that an actual
She went and grabbed the gun too, so she had an opportunity more than once to, like they said in the trial, go in the bedroom, lock your bedroom door, then go in the bathroom and lock your bathroom door and wait for the police to arrive. They were already on their way. So why did you really walk back out and shoot that pew pew through the door and kill her?
Use it for trash, or those important papers that were in there?
Those papers I keep.
Okay. All right. So you said it was about, let me ask you this, and maybe this can kind of help us get a better time frame. From the time that you called 911, these kids are on my property again, they're yelling, what happened that first 911 call? That time that you hung up with 911, how long before she showed up and she was pounding on the door after you hung up?
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay. So about 10 minutes after you disconnected and they said, hey, we have deputies on the way. 10 minutes after that is when she started pounding on your door. Okay. And you say anywhere, you believe from 2 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there, and I just want to be clear, 2 to 5 minutes from the first time she pounded to the time where you felt in danger enough to pull the trigger?
Yeah.
Okay. And how many times, I know this is, how many times do you think she was hitting your door during that time frame that you believe is about 2 to 5 minutes?
She just kept pounding it. Just kept pounding it and pounding it.
Just
She was
more
screaming.
than 5, more than 50?
God, it had to be, I don't know. I can't even speculate. I just remember her pounding and pounding and screaming and yelling.
Okay. And did you call 911 immediately after?
As soon as I found my phone.
Okay. How much time do you think after you fired the shot? So within a minute?
Within a
And you
yes.
immediately called 911?
Yes.
Did you call anyone else before?
No.
Did you call anyone else after?
No, I don't think so, because you guys were here. I mean, you guys came right away.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
What's with the racial statements that everyone's saying that you made? I mean, have you ever used the N-word and they're using it against you? Have you said it in passing or something?
I have no idea. But it could have been I was speaking Hungarian and instead of English.
So you're native Hungarian?
My father was Hungarian, my mother was Polish, so we spoke mainly Hungarian in the household.
Okay. And is there, have you ever spoke Hungarian to these kids or anything like that?
Yeah, and they looked at me and said, stop making up your language. I said, okay.
So let me ask you real quick. You know that we had your phone, right? Okay. So a judge actually signed an order to allow us to go into the phone and look over certain things that would assist in trying to identify the timeframes of things that happened. And during the interviews where we were out there talking to other people who live in the neighborhood, they told us that there's been times where you go out and either create video, like record with videos, or take photographs of what the kids are doing in your area out there. So you know how anybody could have a phone or a device that's recording. So you would imagine, I'm sure the kids have phones out in the neighborhood. A lot of them have tablets that record video. So when we talk to these people and we talk to them, they tell us something, but we have to kind of verify that. So we ask them the same questions. Do you have any video, audio, anything that would document as what you're saying is true? So when he's asking you questions like that, sometimes we have to ask questions that we already know the answers to. And it's not to try to trick someone. It's just to try to see how credible they are and how reliable their statements are. So when we ask them something that we already know the answer to, and if they answer us and it matches up, then some of the stuff that we're still trying to learn and put the pieces together to, we have more credibility and believe in that. Again, he was referring to some of the racial statements that have been alleged. Where does that come from? And like, is there something more like, did
The detective is like, why would you use racist terms?
something happen in the past, or wait, is that how you were raised, or is it just something because these kids are just always
Because she's a nasty human.
like
When I was 12 years
antagonizing
old,
you?
they're forever antagonizing me. When I was 12 years old.
Oh
single,
my God.
they-
People used to be racist towards Latinos in my middle school. Am I over here pew-pewing people? No. I just can't with these people.
School thought I was some other girl. And it came down to where I was stuck in a phone booth and at least 35 other people were around on bikes. And so they ended up calling the police and he had to disperse the crowd.
Okay, and what wound up happening then? I mean, anything?
I had to leave school early every day. I couldn't be around. I couldn't do any extracurricular activities. I just had to be very careful at school.
Oh, wow.
And so it's just, you know, it was craziness.
So I'm sorry, how did that, I mean, you're kind of describing it, I can take a guess, but I mean, how did that make you feel towards your classmates? Did you have friends at that school?
Yes.
Okay. So you had people that you could confide to and be friends with, but you said that you had to be escorted to the bus or something like that?
No, I left 5 minutes early every day.
You had to leave early every day. Okay. Are you, and how old were you when that happened?
12.
12. And I mean, it sounds like there's been some issues that, I mean, is that something that's caused problems with you for the rest of your life?
No.
No, that doesn't. Okay.
I don't believe
No.
Okay. So we're just trying to figure out where some of these, you know, we heard that you said the F word and the B word. These are what the kids are saying.
I definitely dropped F-bombs.
Okay. And
Definitely.
what are you saying the F word to?
Pick your fucking shit up.
Referring to stuff on the ground or something? And when we say the B word, what are you referring to that? Who are you talking to? What are you saying when you use that language?
B word.
Yeah, which I'm assuming is bitch, but I don't really know.
Okay.
Have you said that word to them?
Or is it bastard? Possibly bastard?
Could have been either one.
Yeah.
Are those words that
LZ said, what did she even do for work? This Karen on the screen, she didn't have a job. I don't think that she had a single widely reported long-term high-profile career. I thought I read somewhere maybe like insurance. She was working from home, and the other job was being a Karen.
you've used when you're outside or around the kids or something like that?
If they were really annoying me, I may have let one slip.
Okay. And how would they really annoy you? Like just
Screaming. They would
okay.
scream.
The screaming and that would maybe let one slip. Okay.
But the girls would do something so stupid. I've never seen anything like this before. They would go face to face with one another and see who could scream louder.
Yeah.
5 feet outside my door. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, why? We want to see who screams louder. I'm like, take it over to your house.
Sure. Okay. So Detective Stith has been talking to you about the timeline, okay? And some of the work we've done. Now, this is a picture that I drew. I'm not an artist at all, but when I tell you some of the work we've done, we spoke to all the people over. This is your house, by the way. Okay, this is.
She was a full-time Karen. That's right, LZ.
We'll put an S for you. We spoke to everybody in these buildings. We spoke to them all in these buildings, and we talked to anybody that had cameras that would see different areas. These cameras, they hear things. We're able to hear audio. We're able to hear things like that. And everyone when we interviewed, I pretty much got the same, Detective Stith, I think we all got the same statement from every single person we interviewed. We lined up, well, we didn't line them up. These people were interviewed in different locations. Some of them were interviewed at different buildings in different places. I interviewed them at different houses, and all these people provided me similar statements, okay? No one that provided these, now these people could hear her talking, okay? Because she was talking loudly. You said that you could hear it through the wall, and I can agree with that, okay? She made a statement, something to the effect of, why'd you take my kid's iPad? Okay, somebody heard her say that.
I never touched an iPad. I never saw the iPad. I don't know what this iPad is
A
about.
tablet or something like that.
Now you're lying, Suzanne.
Again, no tablet, no iPad, no electronics at all. It was never there, or at least I never saw it.
Okay.
So I have no idea.
Was she, maybe she's wrong, but was she asking you about a tablet or accusing you of something with a tablet or an iPad? I don't know if it's an iPad or a tablet. She could have? She
could have.
Okay, you seem unsure of some of the stuff she's saying through the door. Did she say, you're not really sure if she said that?
She could have said it during her rants.
Okay. She's saying these things. The thing is everything that we've learned so far, I have not learned of her ever saying to you that she wanted to get into the house. It sounded more like she wanted to talk to you outside of the house.
How do you want to talk to outside the house when you're banging and screaming?
Yeah.
That's not reasonable.
One of the people said that she said, "Come outside."
That's not, I'm sorry.
Come
That's
out.
not what?
It's not reasonable and prudent. I mean, you just don't, bang and expect someone to come out. Yeah, I think I'll come outside so you can,
Well, I know. I
mean, seriously.
So I believe the kids were playing outside. Laura said, how did she get her hands on the iPad? They were playing outside, I believe. And one of the kids had it out there. They were watching a movie, or some of the kids were on a bike. Some of them are running around. Some of them are on their iPad, I believe. The thing is, you're lying.
What I'm learning, what these people said is that she was saying to come outside. She wanted to confront you about something. She wanted you to come outside. Do you remember her making statements and asking you to come out there and talk to her?
Honestly, don't recall.
Okay, so you don't remember that, and you seem unsure about some of the statements she made about the tablet. No one that we've interviewed so far has made any statements about her saying that she wanted to kill you.
That's what I heard.
Okay. You said you were so in fear and you're shaking. Is your memory affected regarding this incident in some way?
I just remember being.
Okay, he's basically I need to go back. I want to listen to. He basically just said you're missing things and leaving things out and remembering things incorrectly.
Well, I know.
Seriously.
What I'm learning, what these people said is that she was saying to come outside. She wanted to confront you about something. She wanted you to come outside. Do you remember her making statements and asking you to come out there and talk to her?
Honestly, don't recall.
Okay, so you don't remember that, and you seem unsure about some of the statements she made about the tablet. No one that we've interviewed so far has made any statements about her saying that she wanted to kill you.
That's what I heard.
Okay. You said you were so in fear and you're shaking. Is your memory affected regarding this incident in some way?
I just remember being terrified that she was banging and screaming, and I just remember hearing her say, "I'm going to kill you." Her son, earlier in the night, before I called the police, I don't know how old he is, but he said, "I'm going to make sure you get killed tonight."
Which son? She has two sons.
I know. I don't remember. It was one of her sons, but he was there. He's like, "I'm going to make sure you get killed. I'm going to make sure that you know." And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Has this?
The kids did not say that. Make sure you get killed. Thank you, Elsie. I appreciate you. Thank you for covering this. Yes, we're covering this today and tomorrow. And then I do want to replay the trial.
The person never showed you a weapon or anything like that?
No, but I mean, the little kid said it, and then all of a sudden his mom's coming over and she's banging and screaming. And
now I asked you this earlier. You said you can't see out there, but you've only seen her a few times.
Mm-hmm.
What means does she have to harm you through the wall?
Like I said, she was banging so much, everything was shaking and moving.
Now that house,
Which I couldn't believe because it's a cement block house.
That was my next question. So it's a cement block house, and the door, the deadbolt was activated, right?
The deadbolt was activated,
Okay.
right? And you just didn't have the chain lock?
I was going to say, I remember I didn't have the chain. I'm not quite sure if I had the deadbolt on or not.
Okay. I believe the last time we talked, you said you had the deadbolt, but you didn't want to get back close to the door to do the chain.
I don't like that. I don't like that. Evie, she record them from a distance and say they were at the door. Exactly. And if you were recording my child, I would have a problem with that. I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure this lady lost all perspective. This must have been one heck of a knock. Yeah, almost took down the whole house, I guess.
From what I recall. And you said you had the extra long deadbolt just installed recently?
Charles did it.
Okay, Charles.
So that's what the deadbolt's activated, the door's closed, it's a block house. I'm just trying to understand what made you so in fear of this woman if you have these things between you.
When we had spoken previously on the other time when she screamed at me and I finally acquiesced, I said, "Whatever you want, I'm so sorry." She followed me, a foot behind me, up until I went into the house. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, she gave me the creeps.
What happened during that incident where she followed you? What was the conversation?
She said, "Oh, you called my kids." I
can't remember, I think a nigger and a slave or something stupid like that. And I'm like,
Wow.
okay, whatever. Yes, I'm sorry. You know,
Oh, she said yes. She called them the N-word slave. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
you know, I apologize. And I finally said, I'm going to leave this alone. I don't need, you know, to get killed in the street.
Did she tell you if she had recordings of you saying that?
I have no
Or like
idea.
one of the kids?
I have no idea.
But you apologize and she continued to follow you anyway?
Yeah, she followed me anyway.
How far did she follow you?
Like right up to where I go in by the wood.
By the fence
yeah.
okay. And then what happened after that?
She finally just went away.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
That was like a month or two ago.
Okay. And was that an incident dealing with, she had the dog and the kids were over there?
No.
No, that was something different?
Something different.
Okay. And I think that was, I want to say, was it April? Does that sound right? With you had called because again, the kids were over there, the dog was over there. Does that sound about right? Okay, but that was a different incident than what you're talking about.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a killer for me, dude. Well, no pun intended. That's just one of those things, like the racist terms. If I hear it coming out of someone's mouth, I am absolutely disgusted. I want nothing to do with that person.
Where were you at when you had that conversation where she started following you? Where were you?
I was in the street.
Okay. Like by the mailboxes or?
No, I was close to her.
Yes, I'm with you, Mary Beth. I think this is a racism / hate crime. It's been she was harassing EJ and her kids for a period of 2 to 3 years.
Her driveway.
Close to her driveway. Okay. Yeah. All right. Did she make any threats of physical violence to you then?
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember.
Okay.
She was following you and that made you feel creepy, right? Or creeped you out, I think is the word you said?
Yeah.
Okay, but there wasn't any threats of physical violence then. And you said...
why would you, if the conversation is over, why would you still pursue someone? I mean, to me...
Was she still saying things? Was she still...
No,
talking?
she just followed me. And I just felt like, you know, at any point in time, she could knock me down and do something. And I was like, oh my God. And I didn't want to tangle with her anymore.
And was it only her kid that you called a slave, or was there other kids in the neighborhood?
I never called anyone a slave.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said sorry for it.
I said I'm sorry for it because I didn't know how else to diffuse the situation.
Is the little kid really gonna know that term? 7 to 9 years old. I mean, if they hear it a lot from racist people. Why would a kid just make that up? An N slave.
Okay, so you told her that you did say that, but you're saying that you were saying it's to diffuse the situation?
Yes, absolutely.
So have you ever called any of those kids?
Never called them a slave. Never.
Never said anything about this not being an underground railroad?
An Underground Railroad comment or something like that was mentioned?
No.
We did so many interviews.
Jesus Christ, no.
There was a statement like that made.
All right, that's new to me. I mean, it's completely new to me. I don't know where the hell that came from.
So, Susan, I'm looking at this from the outside here, and this really is not adding up to me. You used the word reasonable and prudent earlier. That's an interesting series of words to use. That's like a series of words that we use as law enforcement officers when we try to look at things. And there's a big jump here that you're making logically that I can't seem to make the jump. I'm having a really hard time getting there. You've known this woman for 1.5 to 2 years. Your only communications were...
Yeah, she did. She admitted to it too. She did. She was like, yeah, I did. Sorry. And then she's like, no, I didn't. Those words are so abrasive to my brain. I know. They have to be educated these days, so parents probably told them about it. They can't ask you anything if you want a lawyer, right?
2 to 3 times. The dog's pooping, and then there was another time where you called her, you said, I'm sorry about calling your kids some names, and she followed behind you. You thought that was creepy. She's never threatened you. She's never displayed a firearm towards you. She starts yelling on your patio area, banging hard on your door, which your door is locked, and then you're scared. Now you're saying that you're scared, which, okay, I can get to that. I can get to that point that you're scared there's someone knocking on your door.
No, it wasn't knocking, it was pounding.
Pounding. There's someone pounding on your door. Right. There's someone pounding on your door. They're pounding on your door, and I can't get to the point where pounding on the door leads to your leads to you being hurt or killed? I can't get
Because
that.
I
Help me
thought she
get
was going
there.
to break the door down. The door, you could see that it was all repaired and re-repaired and all that crap like that. So I never felt that door was secure.
You have an extended deadbolt, and you've never been in any kind of violent situation where someone's kicked in your door or like Kool-Aid Man through your entire wall. There's not been that situation. So I'm trying to do the reasonable and prudent. I'm trying to come into your shoes there, and I'm having a hard jump there because describe to me, AJ, what does she look like?
Tall black woman, heavy set,
Okay. Does she have a very muscular? You've only known her for a year and a half. You only had so many communications. I mean, is she like a muscular person that's able to, like, I don't know, do extreme feats of strength? Does she weight train in her front yard? Help me understand this.
I don't.
That's what I'm trying. I'm having a hard time with
He's
this.
not being facetious. He's just trying to understand how we got from the point of someone
creepy. But to get to, she's gonna get through the wall is where I can't get there. I don't understand. What if, and I was thinking about this earlier.
Yeah, what is she, the Hulk? Like gonna just knock down the door?
What if the police officer had already arrived and she is loud and she's still yelling, and now the officer's standing in front of the door and he does some knocks, but she's still on that darn patio yelling, and you're shooting, you can't see, there's no peephole, there's no window, there's nothing, and then you shoot, and what if the darn officer was on the other side of the door?
Oh, that's a good point.
You see what I mean? And obviously she's still running her mouth, she's still going, but you don't know what's on the other side of that door.
Hopefully he would have introduced himself.
I sure hope so. I mean, and that's what some of the issues are, that I can't get there, and I don't understand entirely what was going on in your mind, and I don't see how that is entire. Were you on alcohol or anything like? I gotta ask these questions. Were there anything in your mind that would impair yourself in your judgments?
I took 𝗕𝗏𝗪 earlier in the day.
What is that?
It's it was for my back.
Okay, is that a narcotic? I'm not a muscle relaxant.
Wait, what did she say? Which one did she say?
And you're shooting, you can't see, there's no peephole, there's no window, there's nothing, and then you shoot, and what if the darn officer was on the other side of the door? You see what I mean? And obviously she's still running her mouth, she's still going, but you don't know what's on the other side of that door.
Hopefully he would have introduced himself.
I sure hope so. I mean, and that's what some of the issues are, that I can't get there, and I don't understand entirely what was going on in your mind, and I don't see how that is entire. Were you on alcohol or anything like? I gotta ask these questions. Were there anything in your mind that would impair yourself in your judgments?
I took 𝗕𝗏𝗪 earlier in the day.
What is that?
It's it was for my back.
Okay, is that a narcotic? I'm not a muscle relaxant. I'm guessing here.
No, it's a pain reliever.
Okay, it's a pain reliever.
Mhm.
And does that have like something on the bottle that it would?
It's a film.
Okay, does that like don't use motor vehicles or something like that? What does it do to you? How does it make you feel?
It just makes me sleepy.
I thought she said it's a film, so I was thinking Suboxone, but that's not for. I thought she said butabitol, but I didn't hear it. I know. You can like, oh, she said Norco. Is that what she said? Yeah, I can understand it.
What is it called?
𝗕𝗏𝗪𝗔𝗓.
𝗕𝗏𝗪𝗔𝗓.
Oh, 𝗕𝗏𝗪𝗔𝗓. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say there's very many things that come in films. So basically, it's 𝗵𝗏𝗪𝗔𝗓. That's like a newer drug on the market, I guess, but yeah, it's for long-term chronic pain.
𝗕𝗏𝗪𝗔𝗓.
Okay.
Does that have to do with your artery issue in your kidney?
No, I had a car wreck. So I had a fusion in my lower back. I'm sorry, fusion in my neck, and then laminectomy in my lower back.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got this thing that goes backwards. So I have some issues.
Okay.
And I have a torn rotator cuff.
Okay. And do you have issues with any kind of previous, from the car accident, I have to ask, a head injury which would impair your memory or affect your memory or anything like that?
It's an opioid.
Don't remember. I think I hit my head on the steering wheel from the accident.
Okay. Do you suffer time and spatial memory issues where you can't remember certain amounts of time and things like that? And the reason that I asked that is you have indicated that this was somewhere between like 5 to 10 minutes or something. Am I getting that right, Detective Stiff? Okay. From the cameras that we've looked at in the area here, this incident did not last for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. Now, from the people that we spoke to, there's aspects of this that I can agree about. She's talking loud. She's banging on that door. We're going to agree with that. But the actual number of knocks, you did 3 knocks, and then you said there was a pause.
I never said 3.
Well, you said bang, 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 and then she stopped, which I counted 3. Now,
Okay.
if there was something different, you can tell me. I was remembering earlier. You said bang, bang, bang. There was 3. Then she stopped, and then she continued to, and then what happened. Nothing has led me to believe as an investigator that it was like 5 to 10 minutes. Okay.
Okay, maybe it just seemed like it was longer.
Okay.
Probably because, you know, the general
Wow.
was just getting so upset.
Like you lied.
Sure. Whenever adrenaline comes in, it can make things seem like they stretch out. From some of the other statements, we've got some of the things that we've learned. It sounds more like there was 3 knocks and then there was 3 more and then she was shot. It sounds like this was very quick. It sounds like this was like within a span of less than 20 seconds is what I would say. Is it possible that your time is off on this?
Could be.
Okay.
Because to me, it felt like forever.
Okay.
So
if this is like what's being described as a 20-second, this is a brief encounter. It's a brief encounter with loud banging, with loud yelling. The statements that some of the statements that you're saying occurred, like I'm going to kill you and those kind of threats. No one else has heard you. No one else has heard her make those statements.
Okay.
Okay. I'm worried that some of the prior experiences you've had in your life that we've talked about today, they are traumatic experience, sexual violence against you. When you were a kid, all those people coming and trying to get you, that there's something going on in your head. Are you not sure about some of the things we've talked about today regarding some of the things you're saying that you heard? Is it possible she never threatened you at all?
Oh, I swear to God, I thought she said, I'm going to
Is it possible she never threatened you at all?
kill you. I mean, that's why I just panicked. As soon as those words came out of her mouth, I was like, Jesus Christ, she's going to kill me.
Okay. And how did you imagine yourself being killed? Remembering that there's that block wall, that door, how was she going to be able to do that? What makes you think that she was able to do that?
She was still pounding, but she could have come right through that glass wall. I mean, the glass door.
Well, we talked about pounding on the door. Did she ever pound on the glass wall? Was it a window or wall? Help me.
It's doors. It's sliders.
Glass sliding door.
Yeah.
She pound on that?
She may have. I don't know. Well, I kept thinking that she's going to gain entrance. She's going to kill me.
And that's why I asked you earlier if you recalled if she tried to. Was that door locked? The sliding glass door?
Yeah.
Was that safe? Do you have like anything?
I had I think there was a wood piece in
the slider.
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't recall if she tried that door?
I just remember lots of pounding.
Lots of pounding.
You know, just to me, it was just an enormous amount of pounding, screaming, yelling, and you know, I felt like she was going to come through that door.
And I think Detective Pender touched on it. Like in your head, what during the panic, during all these thoughts, what did you feel that was going to happen?
And she's going to come in there and beat the shit out of me until I was dead.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I felt. I mean,
Beat the shit out of me till I was dead. And AJ had that option many times for the 2.5 years you harassed her to beat your ass.
I don't understand why she came over my house. If there was all these issues and problems, why didn't you just call somebody? You know, that's, to me, that's what you would do if you're normal. You know, that's a normal thing to do. If something happens to me, I call the police, you know. And like, okay, you know, the kids are being run or she's banging.
She's like, a bird shit on my porch. I call the police.
And, you know, but when I couldn't find my phone and everything, I was just like, shit. You know, I honestly, I felt she was going to kill me.
A stray cat walked on my porch. I called police.
Okay, so during that time, you had hung up with 911. You still estimate approximately 10 minutes before the banging started.
Yes.
And then you saying anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes or longer that the banging and the yelling lasted. However, as Detective Pender mentioned, we've reviewed video.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked to multiple people out there who all kind of give the similar. I mean, everybody's perspective is different, and that's why I asked you this same question a couple of times, because people's perspectives, we could be both looking at the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And later on, you asked me us the same question. We have different reactions, different answers, because we focus on different things. We remember.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't charge her with obstruction of or what do you call it when you like, I can't think of the terms today. When you waste the freaking police's time. Hey, Alicia. Oh no, Alicia, we need to talk about this later.
Different things. That's why everybody's unique. And that's just the way it is. But to be that similar in some of the specifics of what we're really looking at, we're talking about a very tight, a much more tighter time frame of this incident that happened at your front door before that shot was fired. So is that possible? Is that feasible that it was a shorter time frame?
To me, it felt. I mean, I'm giving you what I felt and what I thought it was.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
Now that you're out of the moment,
Mhm.
I mean, do you think that she could somehow get through that wall now that you're out, now that you're not in the house anymore, and that
I
you
still feel that fear. I just still feel she was coming at me. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it could be known as obstruction of justice. Interferes with oh, that's interfering with I had to look it up. False statements, misuse of emergency services. Thank you very much. Specifically for calling 911 without a real emergency.
Right, it's what I feel.
Okay.
I've just, it's been playing in my head over
Yeah.
and over again, and I just kept thinking of that and how terrified I was.
Was your goal to shoot and kill her?
No.
What was your goal?
To shoot and hopefully, she'd hear the shot and dissipate.
But you took aim at the door, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And the goal was to strike the door and to dissipate it.
Oh yeah, you guys said it.
I'm having a really hard time making this jump here that this unarmed person on the other side of the wall is somehow gonna get into your house and kill you. I'm just really having a hard time getting there. I've been doing this job as a homicide investigator for several years, and I've seen houses that are made out of like pretty much paper mache. Okay, doors that are so thin, like walls of wood you could just push through. And this is a block house with a solid door. I've seen cases before where there is an angry spouse and let me back in the house. You can't throw me out. And they'll kick the wall as hard as they can. And they're not getting in some of these doors open inwards, outwards. I don't know which way your door opens. Which way does it open? It opens outward?
I think it opens out.
Okay. So
it opens inwards.
It opens inwards. Okay. So, they work on these doors and they're not even able to make entry, and they just give up. And I'm really having a hard time understanding like how if you could go back in time, would you not do what you did? Would you take it back and I don't know, wait however long it took for the police to get there? I'm trying to understand that. Do you feel like you did something wrong here?
I did what I felt I had to. I honestly God thought she was going to kill me. Wow. I mean, that's all I felt. I just felt that terror. I mean, it was sheer terror.
She doesn't think taking someone's life is wrong.
So I went out to the house that morning, when I met you out there, and I tested the door. First of all, I looked at the door. We processed the door just to see what areas might have been touched by AJ. I looked at the door frame where it had been repaired. It looked like there was a type of putty or something used where the wood frame had been separated. I examined the deadbolt lock. The strike plates were in there pretty fastened, pretty securely. The bottom lock, just the doorknob lock. And even with the door closed, I stood on the outside. There were no indentations, no dents in the door anywhere that I could see. And I pounded on the door pretty hard, and that was with the door unlocked completely. There was no lock secured, and that door was very sturdy. I'm not trying to take away the fears of being scared and everything, because I think that is a legitimate scary situation to be put in. But to justify to go from being scared to a point where you're taking deadly force on someone who's standing on the other side of the door and you don't even know where you're shooting at, that's a big jump. And I think that's where Detective Pender is.
It could have been one of the kids standing there or something.
But it was her standing there. I mean, I heard her voice.
Sure, but some people don't talk. They're more quiet.
Regardless of that fact, as I was saying, to go from that, and I didn't even have any locks, and I'm pounding on it. And yes, there were our forensic technicians were inside looking, and yes, things were vibrating, but they also stated the door didn't seem like it was going to move, and it barely budged, even with the door unlocked. So, and that's why it's important for us to go through these things to try to determine.
Crime Time says my neighbor was like that. I'm sorry you experienced that.
You know, to try to put ourselves in your position, in your mind at that time as much as possible. But to get that, help us try to understand that a little bit more, to get to that point from a fairly secure door. Because like he said, it's true. We've gone to some of these trailers where you could pretty much push the door open and
That's not your house. Your house is pretty secure. That landlord did a good job, I guess, keeping everything secure. It looked like everything was good. So you've never had a break-in there before, right?
No.
Okay, no break-ins there. There's the rod in the track. Did you have? I know that you still spoke to this woman 2 or 3 times before. Did you speak to her earlier that day on Friday?
No.
Okay, so you didn't talk to her earlier that day, Friday. There wasn't. Did you have any conflicts with anybody in particular on Friday at all?
Just the kids when they're, well, it wasn't a conflict. I just told them, come on, stop trespassing, you know, move along, take it. The kids kept putting things out. They had marbles by my truck. They put their skates out. I tripped over the skate one morning that I had to leave very early, and I'm like, crap. And I'm like, stop leaving your freaking toys here. You know, I'm not the most stable person, you know, with my knees and stuff like that. So when I'm walking, if I fall again, you know, who the hell knows what's going to happen between my back.
So she instigated it.
My knees and, you know, the other injury. And I don't understand why they just keep leaving their crap there. And I'm like,
That sounds frustrating.
It's extraordinarily frustrating.
You said there was a skate. Was there something that happened with the skate on Friday?
When the kids were there, yeah, they keep leaving the skates really close to the house. I'm like, stop already, you know, because when you go around and you do stuff and you're bringing packages in, sometimes I bring the truck up. I'm like, I don't want to walk over your skates and shit. I'm like, pick your damn shit up.
Wow.
So where were those skates when you picked them up?
I'm going to say they were maybe 5-6 feet of the sidewalk.
On the grass?
Yes.
Okay. And you
what a
you took a photograph of that with your phone?
Yes.
Okay. And there was a video.
She's bitter and hates her life. That sucks for her. To get mad about kids leaving a roller skate out.
At some point, it looked like you were taking a picture or a video through.
I used to roller skate. I think that's cute.
Through the screen from you being inside to them outside. Is that around the time frame that you shot on the bird or something along those lines? Maybe not really. Okay.
Probably.
Okay. Because it looked like there was a bunch of them kind of further out in the field, but there was a lot of kids playing out there, and I guess
the screaming. You heard how much they were screaming over the TV.
Okay, so when you went out there, and one of AJ's kids was out there, and this is around the time frame where you threw the skates out into the yard or something like that. But this is also that was what was reported to us from a few people.
Yes.
But also during that time frame was where that tablet situation came up. So is there any reason?
I don't know what this tablet thing is.
It's like an Amazon tablet, electronic tablet.
I never saw the tablet. Never.
Yeah, dude. Come on, lady. You're right, Liana. Come on, lady. Be a kind neighbor. Just move the toys and items. Don't call the police for roller skate on your driveway.
I'm saying, where's my tablet? Where's my tablet? I don't have
Oh, so he did ask you about it, but you didn't have it.
Of course not.
So you never.
I never saw it, never picked it, never touched it up. Nothing.
Why would he make that part up if
I have no idea.
Because he said, and it really doesn't change. It doesn't change anything. I'm just trying to understand. He said that.
Yeah, even the way she talked in here about the kids, like, move your shit out of the way. Like, that's already foul for it to be talking to a kid. Hearing her use those words, I can say she has anger issues. Yeah, exactly. Not even her plate. Dude, they're children. Pick on someone your own size. Really.
He was going to the basketball courts after they played.
That's why AJ went over there. AJ was like, don't be cussing at my kids. Talk to me. And she gets shot.
The field, and he's like, I forgot my tablet. And he comes over and he sees you holding it. And he
I
says,
never,
put
no,
it down.
No.
And you kind of tossed it down. And then that's when you threw the skates and one of them hit him in the toe or the foot or something like that.
No, because they were standing here and I threw it with my left hand.
Okay.
I made sure that I just threw them over to the other side. Never
And that's when
touched
you
each
told
other.
him to fetch or something?
Yes.
You told him to
I
fetch
said, you
it?
can go fetch it over there now.
Okay.
Because he said, give me my skates.
Mhm.
Your skates. I'm like, here, go get them.
You already had them in your hand at that point? Or
I
he said,
think
give them
so.
to you? Okay. What were you going to do with them?
Just throw them on the other side. Just get them away.
But you don't remember the tablet?
So why didn't you just do that instead of bullying them? Why open your big fat mouth in the first place?
It was never I never saw a tablet, never touched a tablet. Never, I don't know where the hell the tablet came from.
And I don't think she has her own kids, to be honest. I don't remember that from the documentary, but I don't think so.
So I have no idea.
And then the situation with the umbrella, I know we had talked about it a little bit before, but do you remember who that was out there when, was that when, excuse me, was that when the older, AJ's older came over? What was he saying to you?
That's when he has said, I said, you guys need to leave. He said, I don't need to leave. I can be anywhere I want. It's, you know, I forget what the hell.
Dude, if I ever hear this again because that roller skate was there, I almost died for the 1 millionth time.
He said, just something to the effect that I have no limits where I can go. I'm like, okay.
Okay, but he wasn't the one that was there when you tossed the roller skates into the yard. It was the other child.
It should have been both boys.
Were they both there with the roller skate thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you came out, the umbrella that was behind your door, was that the one?
Yes.
Okay, and what exactly happened with that? Because that's another one of those things where we were talking to people who were right there, kind of, they already heard some yelling and back and forth, so they're kind of watching. And
I may have been talking with my hands, so.
Swinging the umbrella?
Yeah, just, you know, come on guys, leave, you know, and
Okay.
gesturing. So
How far away were they?
With using my hands, swinging the umbrella. I need to go back. What a liar.
Were they both there with the roller skate thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you came out, the umbrella that was behind your door, was that the one?
Yes.
Okay, and what exactly happened with that? Because that's another one of those things where we were talking to people who were right there, kind of, they already heard some yelling and back and forth, so they're kind of watching. And
I may have been talking with my hands, so.
Swinging the umbrella?
Yeah, just, you know, come on guys, leave, you know, and gesturing. So
How far away?
You don't swing an umbrella at kids for just nonchalantly. You're pissed off.
Were they when you were doing this?
Oh
And
my
where do you
gosh.
think you were at?
I remember being on the sidewalk, and then they were at least 5-7 feet away from me.
Okay.
They weren't even close.
What did they do when you were swinging it around?
Nothing.
They didn't do anything?
No, there was no reaction.
They didn't say anything? They didn't back away?
I honestly don't recall.
Okay.
It didn't rain on Friday. Why did you have an
I
umbrella?
thought it was raining. We had precip, and I thought when the kids got quiet that it rained finally and they went home.
So that's why you had the umbrella out?
Yes.
So it sounds like there's a lot of things going on with the kids that day. It sounds like you're taking videos and then there was a middle finger towards this guy. It sounds like the skates are in the way. You had to throw those because she says, give me the skates. You throw the skates. And then you're swinging the umbrella because they're not getting away. There's a lot going on with the kids. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Are the kids yelling that day?
Oh, they were screaming and yelling.
Screaming and yelling. Okay. It sounds like there was things going on with them, and then one of the kids' moms comes up to your house and knocks on the door. Is that right? Did she say what she was knocking on the door about? I don't remember if we covered that.
With AJ? Yes.
Yes, AJ. Was it about the umbrella or the skates or something different? Because
I
there's a
want to
lot.
speak to you because you're talking to my sons. I don't like the way you're talking to my sons.
Okay, so she bangs on the door and she wants to, because we've talked about all the things that happened that day. She's banging on the door and she wants to address you regarding how you're talking to her sons.
Yes.
And there's already been that prior incident in the 2 or 3 times that you guys met, and one of those times it was you're talking to her sons and you're saying like racial things like that, racial slurs. She said that you did.
She said that I did.
Okay. So it sounds like she has a reason that she wants to talk to you, and
She's saying AJ's lying about the racial slurs.
she's banging on your door.
Mhm.
Okay.
But she's enraged, she's screaming, she's not acting to me, which would be like a normal, average, everyday, reasonable person. I mean, to me, that was someone who was really angry.
You're for certain that when you went to retrieve your gun, that's where you keep it in that trash can, that's where it was at? I'm sorry, did you remember
No,
what you were thinking about?
Susan, real quick here. Have you ever been diagnosed with any mental health issues, depression, bipolar disorder? Have you ever had
Like, actually, we would like to know if you're actually a fucking psychopath, because it seems like you are.
to go to a mental health facility? Have you ever sought therapy for anything?
Yes,
What have you sought therapy for?
for the rape.
For the rape, okay. And is that something you attended as a child or something you attended later on in your life or something like
I
that?
was like 20 years old.
Okay, and when you were seeking therapy, what were you trying to heal? What were you trying to fix? Aside from the sexual abuse, was there something psychologically that happened to you?
I just shut down.
Oh.
You just shut down?
Yeah, I wasn't feeling any emotions or anything like that.
Okay.
I just had no emotion whatsoever. It was just flat effect.
Okay. Did therapy help you with that?
Yes.
And then later on in life, you had a friend that was buried and the breathing in the dirt and then the screaming and then that.
happened before the therapy.
And then I remember one of the words you heard was that causes you to be triggered whenever you hear screaming.
And
If you're that easily triggered by kids screaming outside, lady, then you should have not shut down and done your therapy like a good little lady.
The reason why I say triggered is I worked at the guest house where they do therapy and stuff. So just picked up some of the words as I was working there.
Sure. So when you say triggered, how does that make you feel? What does that do to you?
It just makes me feel horrible.
Horrible. What is that like? What is that feeling? Is it a feeling inside your body? Describe that to me more.
Just absolutely horrible. Like I'm sick.
The screaming makes you feel
Yes.
sick. Okay. Does this sick feeling, does this triggered feeling ever make you do things that you wouldn't normally do? Say things you wouldn't normally say, act in ways you wouldn't normally act because of some trauma that you had?
I was going to say, I don't know.
You're not sure? Do you ever sometimes feel as if you get so upset about something, crying, angry, or something like that, that it overwhelms you? That you get overcome with emotion? Does anything like that ever happen to you?
Just trying to think. The only time was of death, but I figured that was normal emotions.
Sometimes whenever people get picked on and they get yelled at and they hear yelling and things like that with you, they say things and they do things they don't mean. They see red. That's what some people say. They see red. And I wasn't myself, detective. And they say things like that to me. And I'm trying to understand if some of these kids have triggered you and made you do things and say things that isn't you, is not Susan, is not the person that's sitting in front of me. Do you ever feel like anything like that ever happens to you?
The kids definitely just make me feel, sick. They just, they call me grandma. They call me Karen. I'm trying to think. They said horrible things. The other thing was, I'm trying to think of some kind of stupid infection. I can't remember what the hell it was.
Do you say horrible things back that you wouldn't normally, that you're not proud of?
Absolutely. So I just, stop. It's like, stop.
Absolutely not.
I asked you this before, but I saw inside you have like it's almost a home office set up. Do you work from home?
Yes.
You do? So you're pretty much, you're always there and you're always having to be susceptible to whatever they do. And now it's summertime.
Yeah,
Everyone's
it's
in
a
school.
nightmare. But
It's a nightmare. So find a neighborhood that doesn't have kids and good luck.
I'm very pragmatic. I'm like, if you see the stuff up here and this is my front door, why do you keep coming by my front door screaming and yelling? And they're like, doesn't matter. You don't matter. I had a little black kid come up to me and said, "You're white, you're old, you have no one in your life, you're not worth anything." So I'm like, great.
What did you tell that person?
I told him we're always alone. Guess what? You come in the world alone and, you leave the world alone.
Okay. And when you say that It sounds like you handled that well. When you say that you've said things before that you're not proud of, describe that to me.
I shouldn't have called them names. I shouldn't have said bitch or fucker. I should have reined it in a little.
Okay.
She should have reined it in a little.
And then when we talk about racial slurs, have you made those not to anyone in particular? You've just spoken to the air, you've spoken to other people, because there's been multiple different ways that we've kind of been learning about you saying these things. Describe that to me and specifically.
In regards to?
Words like the N-word that you've said. Describe that to me specifically when you've said that.
I can't remember if I said it or if I didn't say it.
You sound unsure.
Whether it's out of anger or.
She said she did, and then she said she didn't, and now she says, I don't remember.
I mean,
I don't know.
Someone's calling you names and you can become kind of overwhelmed with, you're having to hear this kind of thing all the time. And like you said, you might say something that you normally wouldn't say.
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
So I've noticed there's been some gaps in your memory, and that's why I've asked you about your memory, because some of the specific things that I asked, specifically this, you say, I'm not sure, I don't remember. And that's how.
Yeah, her ass moved way too late. I agree with you, Evie. Move if it's so miserable. The kids were there first. Yeah, they were. She moved into their neighborhood.
Happened a couple times while we've been talking today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to better understand that is why you don't remember some of these things specifically, of what's going on. I don't know if it's something you feel shameful or embarrassed about. I don't want you to feel that way while we're talking. I'd rather you just be honest with me. But that's why I've been asking you some of those things. Is there any reason why anybody would have any video or anything like that of you saying like the N-word? Is there any reason why someone would have that?
I have no idea. And if I did let it go, I'm sorry. I could have slipped out.
Being honest with, what context would it slip out, do you think? I mean, what would happen for you to say something like that?
She's like, oops, you have video?
If they were being extraordinarily rude, or if they were just, I was always taught the N-word meant that you were just being unlawful, dirty, just, I don't know, generally not being pleasant.
Okay.
And that's only because, again, Dad was Hungarian, Mom was Polish, and it came up in the conversation. So they asked me to go to my friend Sheila and ask her, what does the N-word mean? And her mom said, no, it just means that someone who doesn't work, someone who is not productive.
What? I'm rewinding. This is so absurd.
Not being pleasant.
Okay.
And that's only because, again, Dad was Hungarian, Mom was Polish, and it came up in the conversation. So they asked me to go to my friend Sheila and ask her, what does the N-word mean? And her mom said, no, it just means that someone who doesn't work, someone who is not productive, someone who is not, acting normally, lawfully.
Sure. Okay.
Her friend told her that an African-American person is someone who doesn't act normally and lawfully. If that isn't one of the most racist things she's saying right now.
And in the times that you...
I'm sorry. I think there's just like a lot of other words that are, I believe, out there to describe those things as well. I mean, what is it in particular about that word or slave boy?
I never said slave boy. I never said the word slave. Never.
Okay.
I can't even say it. Those are what she was calling the kids. Wow.
So I don't know why you keep coming back to this.
Well, that's just
someone had mentioned, and like I said,
never uttered the
that you used the word slave or
absolutely not.
Something like that. Is there any reason why anybody would have a video like that? Is there any reason why that would exist?
No, there shouldn't be. Shouldn't be anything like that.
Okay. Yeah,
the Underground Railroad comment, again, remember there's people out there.
I never made an Underground Railroad comment.
Okay.
So I don't know where the hell that came from.
Well, I kind of want to go through my notes real quick, make sure that we covered everything. We covered a lot
That someone heard you say it before.
things. Can I get you another water or anything while I go through this? Okay. Yeah, let me go through the notes and make sure we didn't miss anything here. And we'll be right back in.
Is there anything else that you need right now? Use the restroom or anything? Use the restroom? Okay, give me just 1 second. Make sure the restroom's clear.
Yeah, the detectives do pretty good with this freaking Karen lady. Oh, look at her. Pouting. Because she doesn't deserve to be there. No sign of remorse either. Like, you just took a good mother away from 4 of her boys. Well, I believe there's a female, so I'll just say kids. Yeah, I was right. 3 sons and a daughter. I kind of had remembered it, but yeah, 3 sons and 1 daughter.
Okie dokie.
We go to the bathroom.
Yes.
All right. So while we were in there going over everything, and my supervisor came in, he's actually kind of been listening a little. And something that caught my ear, like when we were talking earlier, you had mentioned the words, and I asked you to repeat it because I wanted to make sure I heard you correctly. You had mentioned
I just pray her babies are okay. I mean, with all of this, really, I do. I really feel for them. My heart breaks.
terminology like reasonable and prudent, in reference to how AJ was acting at your door while she was trespassing and everything. Where did that come from, that terminology? Is that
Watching TV.
watching TV? Okay. Like documentary stuff, or like what?
Probably just crime shows and stuff.
Crime shows, okay.
We don't want you in the true crime community, ma'am.
And I have to ask you this, is have you done any research on like the laws as far as like in Florida, as far as self-defense and things like that?
I looked at it today.
You looked at it
That when I
today?
was on, Facebook.
She was looking up stand your ground laws and stuff.
Just some things that, they had it up on Facebook.
Describe that. What did you, specifically, what you were reading about and learning about?
They said self-defense, and I'm trying to think what the hell else I looked at today. So much crap, mostly emails. But I just remember saying self-defense, and there was a bunch of lawyers and stuff like that.
So
they got your search history, and I agree with you. She's heartless, Calissa, heartless.
Prior to today, even the last time that you and I spoke on very early Saturday morning, you had used some of that same kind of terminology in describing the situation that occurred at your front door. Prior to today, had you ever done any kind of research like that? And before I ask, let me just say, if we were to look through everything in your phone or your home desktop computer, is there anything kind of research on your internet history that would show that you've done research on like self-defense? Or have you ever heard of the term stand your ground?
Yes.
Have you ever done any kind of research on that?
Yes, when it was mentioned on some guy shot someone at a convenience store, and they said stand your ground now.
Was that like a Florida situation? Because I know every state has kind of different laws.
I think it was Florida. I think it was Florida.
She's acting so dumb. I want to just deck her. And I don't condone violence. Chanel Gibson, yeah, stand your ground doesn't mean shooting someone through the door. Exactly. It's a legal principle in the U.S. that allows a person to use force, including deadly force, to defend themselves without a duty to retreat if they reasonably believe they are in imminent danger of death or serious bodily injury.
And when was that?
God, years ago.
It was years ago?
Yeah, that was a years ago thing.
So nothing recent that would be on like your internet browser history?
I just looked it up today.
Right, but I mean, other than basically before this incident occurred at your door, but we're not talking about like a couple of years ago. We're talking about within the last few months. Would there be, because your internet browser, even if you delete it or you go on private browser, if we take a look at those things, because we did go through.
I would say premeditation to some extent. I mean, she was looking it up. Yeah. She looked it up or was told about it. She had days to get the story. Reasonably believed.
From the judge signed an order for us to be able to do that. He agreed that there was reasonable enough evidence to be able to do that. So if that were the case, if we were just to look through that, would there show anything that you were looking up, stand your ground or
He's like, we're giving you an opportunity to be honest because we just got a warrant to search your shit.
Defense laws in Florida on the internet?
I don't know. I look up tons of stuff.
Is it a possibility that you looked that up?
Could have been. I don't know.
Okay.
I look up. I just,
and the
when
reason
I read
I ask is
articles,
I'm
I
trying
just
to
go and see why the laws were. So I want to know why. Like if they have an article, what happened in the situation? What you know.
Susan, I think you know the reason why I'm asking that question. You're smart, okay, and the reason is.
Oh hell no, absolutely. I know what you're thinking. Did I look up the laws so I could do something? No, absolutely.
This is not a situation where you set something up because you were tired of this person. You were tired of the situation that they put you in.
No.
Okay.
Sorry, no.
Oh my God.
So while I was out there,
she's a joke.
Kind of going through the notes and everything.
She knew what they were gonna say. She's a joke.
I went through because. So when someone calls 911, as soon as that call goes to our communication center, it logs it, gives us a timestamp, hour, minute, second, from the very first time that call was received to the time that it's disconnected, okay? And that's for every single time someone calls. So the first time when you called 911, talking about the boys out there trespassing and things of that. So that call started at 8:54 p.m. Does that sound about right?
Yes, I really wasn't looking at the clock or anything. I just remember calling.
That's what time it says on our call center. And that call lasted for 5 minutes and it disconnected. At 8:59, deputies are on the way. Okay. Now you estimated that it was approximately 10 minutes after you disconnected until the AJ started pounding on your door. Is that correct? Is that what? Okay. So the second 911 call where you called, lady was banging on my door. I shot her through the door. That call came into our call center. It was received at 9:01, which is 2 minutes after you hung up with the communication center the first time. So that's 2 minutes that all these things that you say occurred happened at your front door. From pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding, I'm going to kill you, all these things. Within 2 minutes, she showed up at your front door and did all these things to the time that you pulled the trigger, went and found your phone, and then called 911. So, and that's why I'm trying to get.
To me, it seemed like that amount of time. That's why I thought it was that amount of time.
Well, so clearly we've established that that was not true, that that's not the case, but that's what you felt it was. So you also told me that that's what you heard, that she was going to kill you. Is it possible that she did not say that and that's what you heard or you believe, just like you believed it was 10 minutes between those calls?
I just thought she said, I'm going to kill you. I mean, that's what I heard. That's why I was so in fear of my life. I was like, Jesus Christ, she's pounding on my door. She's going to break in. She's going to kill me.
But is it a possibility?
They're like, do you think maybe she said none of that?
If you believe that there was 10 minutes to 15 minutes, adding in 10 minutes before it started, and then approximately another 5 minutes on top of that, that you believe that 2 minutes was 15 minutes, was it a possibility that maybe you thought you heard that, but it wasn't that what she actually said?
I have no idea. That's what I heard.
Okay.
I'm telling you what I heard.
So, Susan, we've talked enough that I've come to a conclusion here. Everything that I've learned, okay, and I see this on a scale here. Detective Styth had brought up, you are Susan. Are you the Susan that has done research on Stand Your Ground and has planned for this to happen? Was planning for this to happen? There's a spectrum here. Is this the Susan over here, and then there's also could be a Susan over here that was. I have a gun in the house. I'm scared. Someone is knocking on the door. I'd like them to go away. I'm just gonna, I picked up the gun and I accidentally shot the gun. There's a Susan somewhere in the world like that. You've somehow found a spot in the middle where you're trying to explain this, but it doesn't actually make any sense. That within 2 minutes, because we know it's 2 minutes, within 2 minutes, this person came over and they were able to put down a series of statements such as, and you said this, that they came right up to and they want to have a discussion with the way that you were treating their kids that day. You said that they were able to make that sentence. I want to talk to you about the kids. I'm banging on the door. I want to talk to you about the kids. They're making statements like that. We've interviewed other people that it was a very brief interaction and then you shot them. Now, this wasn't a long siege. It wasn't a castle siege. It didn't last for 20, 30 minutes. It was 2 minutes. So you're trying to tell us that a reasonable person would shoot somebody for less than 2 minutes of making statements outside. That doesn't make any sense. So that I have to look on the scale here. Where is Susan? Did she plan this? Is she a cold-blooded killer that plans things? Was this an accident, or was this something that got out of hand? Is it somewhere in the middle? That makes more sense. Not what Susan's telling me. Is it somewhere in the middle? Because I know that I talked to Detective Stiff. We kind of went through your first interview. And in that first interview, you had even said to the kids, you know what, go get your mom.
No, I didn't.
You said something along the lines of when they said, I'm going to go get my mom, you said, go get her.
Go get her. Which is fine. I want to talk to an adult too. I don't want to talk to a kid.
I remember saying that.
And so this has happened a few times during our interview also. You have these, I don't remember. There's been a couple times that you don't remember. And these are important things to remember, and you're not able to remember them. I believe that you do remember them, and that worries me. That makes me feel like you're not telling us it because you are that you are Susan, the person that is planning. I'm just trying to figure out who's sitting in front of me here. Is it over here? I've been planning this. I picked up the gun and I was waiting for her to come over because it was very quick. It was 2 minutes. Or it was, I had the gun in my hand and I made a mistake, but now I've dug my heels in and I've made these statements so far to Detective Stiff about a mistake I made, and I feel like I can't go back. I don't want to feel like you're at a point that you can't go back. We are all human. And I'm going to tell you this, 99% of the people that sit in front of me in this room, they do not tell me the truth like the entire time. But then we get to a point where I show them that everything they're saying actually doesn't make any sense. And I always tell them, I say, look, we want to go the path of least resistance. We don't want to go down the path of embarrassment or humiliation or I made a mistake. They don't want to do that, but I show them everything. And they say, you know what? And I don't hold it against them. I don't take anything personally. If you had said something.
You don't take it personal that you're a damn liar. 𝗕𝗏 says the issue she has is that despite planning out her stand your ground defense, she overlooked how much is recorded now. Ring cams, phones, internet. She isn't as smart as she thinks. Yeah, the sociopath.
Something before that was not true and you felt like you had to go down that path to protect yourself or whatever it is, but it's not true. This is your opportunity to tell us. And I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm not going to say Susan is a jerk or a liar or anything like that. I'm going to say what Susan's saying now makes a little bit more sense for me and Detective Stiff. And this is that opportunity. If something is different than what you originally told us, I might be able to make sense out of it because I know your history now. I know that you were a victim of some kind of sexual trauma. I know that there was things that happened to you when you were in school. I know that you have gone through hard experiences. And maybe that influenced why you said the things you said before. But I can tell you right now, what we've learned, what we've discussed all leading up to this, it doesn't make any sense. So this is your opportunity to actually tell us that something that does make sense. I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm not going to get mad. But whenever AJ was coming over that evening, what happened? What happened? Bring me to that moment when you had the gun in your hand. What were you thinking?
All I wanted her was to go away. I was just, I felt she was going to come through that door and kill me. I'm sorry, that's what I felt. I just felt she was going to come through the door and kill me.
Okay.
It was a tremendous fear.
Did you feel bad for what happened?
Oh, Christ, yes.
Do you? Because the first time that we talked, there was a point where I informed you that AJ had passed away. And I wasn't sure if you've been aware of that or not. I know they transported her in an ambulance from there.
No, I saw them doing CPR.
Yeah. So when I informed you of that, you showed emotion. You showed what appeared to me to be at least somewhat of a remorse for what had happened. So do you feel bad for what had happened?
Absolutely.
You feel bad for the children?
Christ, yes.
So.
Christ, yes.
And I think, Detective Pender we're trying to give you the opportunity to try to explain some of these discrepancies in the story, the things that don't really add up or make sense. And you maintaining that you were in fear for your life.
Yes.
It just doesn't make sense. And I feel like at this point, today you really haven't, and I'm not judging you, you know, everybody processes things differently. So I understand that. But you haven't really seemed remorseful for today, at least, for what has happened.
Oh God. It just makes me sick. I don't know what, I can't take it back. It's transpired, it's in the past. I don't know what the hell to do. It's just probably me shutting down again.
Okay. Do you think that's a trauma response or something? I know you said you had gone through a lot of
Probably
flat
because
affect and things like that in the past.
I mean, it's a horrible situation. And inner conflict is horrible because, you know, it goes against my faith. I broke the commandment. I just did I feel horrible for what I did.
Okay. So looking back on it now, and do you think that she was actually going to get through that door? I mean, be honest with us, because
she was coming through the door. As God is my witness, I thought she was going to come through that door. I'm sorry, it's just what I felt.
So, I mean, at this point, like,
I know Laura says that B can't even make herself cry. Yeah, no, I don't think she looks remorseful here.
we've talked to you, we've talked to a lot of people and gone through the evidence. We've discussed all of this with the state attorney's office as well. You know, after talking to you for several hours on Saturday morning and then today, I feel that there was a level of fear, but from everything I've seen, it doesn't rise to the level for you to justify shooting through a closed door and with a firearm. Okay, and I think you know that wasn't reasonable what you did.
I felt so terrified. I just felt so terrified. You know, here she comes again. You know, again she's screaming, she's yelling, she's acting unreasonable. And
let me ask you this. You said that you went on Facebook today. I can only imagine that at some point you may have seen some of the news dealing with this case and this story.
Yes.
Okay. What kind of stuff did you see?
I threw a tablet at the child. I said all kinds of things that I never said.
You know what I saw? I saw 4 kids that no longer have a mother. And I'm not taking away how you were treated, but those are children nonetheless, right? And now they don't have a mother to go home to. And I think you know what you did was wrong. I think you know that there were already deputies on the way.
But there was times I called and the deputies never showed up.
I understand. It's been 2 minutes. So
to me, it wasn't 2 minutes.
Because you've called 700,000 50 million times.
To me, it was much longer. In my mind, it felt like.
But there's only one reality where time exists, and I understand perception of time can be different for different people. But in the reality of things, you had just disconnected. Within 2 minutes, a shot was fired through that door. There was that much that transpired within that 2 minutes where statements were made. I want to know why you're throwing stuff at my kids or whatever it was she was saying. And then shot fired and she's down. And then another 911 call comes in. There's no way to justify that. In my mind, I don't think in Detective Pender's mind, and clearly in other people's minds that we've discussed this case with the state attorney, our legal counsel, and things like that. So, I mean, at this point, we've discussed it with the state, and they are on the same terms as far as charging you with a manslaughter. Okay.
Okay. I don't know what to say. I was in fear for my life. I mean, honest to God, I just feared that she was going to come through that door. I'm sorry, that's how I felt. I can't change the way I felt. I mean, it was sheer terror on my part. I mean, honest to God, I was shaking.
So one of the things I want to ask, because at the point where I did let you know and I informed you, you know, what had ultimately happened to AJ after that shooting.
No, the kids called her crazy, mean lady, like all this kind of stuff. No one ever threatened to hurt her really physically, the kids.
You know, that she had passed away, and obviously she has 4 kids. And, you know, I was observing the interviews that were conducted with them. and the emotions that they were going through. And you shared some of those same emotions at points through the conversations that we had. And I just want to, like, obviously I can't let you talk to them or give a message to them and like face to face. But I would like, if it's up to you, if you would like to write them a letter or something to kind of, you know, whatever's on your mind or in your heart.
You don't have to. We're just going to leave a notepad and a pen in the room. Obviously, we have some paperwork to do, so we're going to have to step out to do that, and obviously talk to our boss. We'll just I offer it to everybody that we can't let them talk to, so it's just something we do.
So if you'd like to do that,
we're going to get that paperwork going, like he said.
But that's where the state's at right now. That's where we're at. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in just a minute, okay? But if you'd like to write them something, that's right there, okay?
This is so lame. She ends up writing the most ridiculous no ever. Look at her writing. I don't even, why did they make her do that? I feel like they know she's not freaking remorseful.
Susan? All right, we're gonna have you go with this deputy here.
Wait. They just walked in or did something happen?
Susan? All right, we're gonna have you go with this deputy here.
No.
I'm sorry?
No.
No what?
I can't.
What's wrong? What's going on?
I just can't. I'm sorry, I can't do this.
Now she can't do it. Now she's scared.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, we're to that point where that's what's going to happen. Obviously, this isn't a conviction. This is you being charged, and then you're going to have your day in court to present your side of the story. Okay, so you're going to go with this deputy.
No, I'm not.
You're going to be booked in
No, I'm not.
and fingerprinted.
No.
They're going to take your pictures, and then you will have an arraignment in the morning.
I'm not gonna.
No, I'm not getting up here forever. Nope, you can't arrest me.
I'm sorry.
There's a phone down there. You'll be able to call whoever you need to call, and right there in booking.
I'm not going.
But Susan, we are going. There's no change in that now. You're under arrest. In fact, we probably go ahead and put handcuffs on her. Let's get her. Let's get you handcuffed.
Stand up.
Don't touch me.
Susan.
Stand up, Susan.
No.
Listen,
Sorry, I
It
can't.
can
do
go
this.
one of
I
two
can't
ways.
do
It
this.
can go an easy way or it can go a really hard way.
I'm sorry.
Oh, the real her starting to come out.
Want to go the hard way.
I'm so sorry.
Susan, put yourself in our position. There's no choice in this. You're going over there. It's
Chucks, we have the same thoughts.
I'm sorry, I can't do this.
Susan, you understand that from the point of the story that you've given us, that by refusing and resisting, that it's making you look bad, okay? And I understand your reluctance to want to go.
I just can't do
Okay,
this.
well, they have medical staff over there
as soon
that
as
can
you get over
assist
there, there's a
you.
nurse right in the front.
They can, you give them the
can't
prescription
do this.
medications that you're taking, all of that. They will assist you in making sure that you get the care you need.
No,
But
I can't
we're
do
going
this.
over there, okay? You're gonna
can't.
go over there and,
I just can't do this.
okay, well.
Come on, Susan, stand up.
We shouldn't have shot an innocent lady.
We don't have
No,
time to
seriously,
debate.
I can't do this.
Okay, but do you understand that you're under arrest and you're
I
gonna be
understand
taken to
under
the jail
arrest.
one way or another, okay?
I don't care.
Susan?
I just can't do this. I'm sorry.
What you're saying and doing right now is not reasonable.
I know it's not
There's been
reasonable, but I just can't do this.
So when you say it's not reasonable, that doesn't make sense to me.
I understand. I just can't do this. I'm sorry.
Then this is why we're in this position here, Susan, is because the decisions you make are not reasonable. You make just like what
I'm
we're
sorry.
experiencing right now.
I'm sorry. I just can't do this. I can't do this.
I've had people
They're like, you don't act like a smart adult, ma'am.
sit in this chair that have done things and they get up, they walk out on their own accord. They've done some really bad things. Okay, you're not the only person, but I need you to.
just feel horrible. I can't do this.
Okay, well, we're going to go to the jail. There's no changing this. There's no stopping it.
I don't care. Kill me.
We're not going to kill anybody. We're going to take you to the jail. We'd rather you walk on your own. We'd rather you just
Said unalive me, dude. These police. They're probably like this lady.
Walk down there. It'd be so much better for everybody if we could just walk down
Can
there.
you just stand up for me?
No,
So what do you plan on sitting here the rest of the night?
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna die of a heart attack.
Well, like I said, they have medical staff over there. We want
R.I.P. Suzanne.
to be able to get you over
The
there.
quicker we get you over there, the quicker someone over there that's in medical can see you.
I just can't do
Susan, this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna put you in handcuffs, and if we have to forcefully bring you out there, that's what we have to do, because we are obligated
Really don't want
to
to.
take you to the jail now, okay?
Thank you for standing up.
Sorry, I just,
I understand that.
So put your hands behind your back for me.
I mean,
Thank you, Susan.
I didn't do this on purpose. This wasn't a purposeful act. I did not premeditate it. I didn't do anything like that. This is ridiculous.
I have nothing nice to say.
We're gonna go out this.
I have nothing nice to say about Karen. Wow. I didn't think we would get through that interrogation. That was actually a really, really good interrogation. I actually really enjoyed watching that with you guys for the past couple hours. Stop resisting. I'm sorry. It's not funny because jail's not funny and being arrested is not funny. But it's kind of funny how she's like, I'm not going to get up. I'm just going to die of a heart attack in this chair right now. She's pulling the I'm sweet little old lady with medical issues. Yeah, for those of you that missed the beginning of the live, we went over the case. We watched Law and Crime segment to get a little background. And because it is a Netflix documentary, there's only so much we can play. I probably will get copyright on this for that interrogation and I would have to fight it. But definitely make sure you check out the Netflix documentary, restart the live. We will be doing a part 2 to this case tomorrow. We'll probably watch a few more interviews and we'll listen to the jail calls. I don't want to play them today out of respect, but we will play them tomorrow. We have Kenzie tomorrow. We have Courtney Clooney. We have all true crime starting early in the day tomorrow. Please, please, please hit the like button, hype, do all of those things. We are going to be over on the second channel in just a little bit. So I did drop the link. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe there. We're just going to hang out and try to get started over there on the second channel. So shout out to all of you guys. Thank you. You guys all had a really good conversation about this case. If you want to watch it without the commentary, that is, I'll link the sources in the description. Yes, please hit the like. And I appreciate you guys for being here. And I will see you on the next one. Make sure you are subscribed to the second channel. And thank you to my mods for being here. I'll see you soon.